Hey, welcome back to the Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. This one's gonna be unbelievable. I'm gonna go the whole stream without touching my hair. You might have noticed by now, that is something I cannot go 30 seconds without doing, and at this point, it's already hurting me inside. It's May 16th, 2024. I don't know how long we're gonna stream. It's already in my face, and I can't stop it. I'm tense. Is everyone doing well? It's a Thursday. It's literally impossible. Feeling static. How's it going? It's probably Eric Hayden. Maybe it's Nick. Who knows? Not happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. Hair flip is worse. So I always had like the sort of, scene kid fringe since forever. And so like I'm constantly pushing my hair back. It's just like a habit. If you do this, it's way less cool. It's way less cool. There's just no way around it. Oh, I need longer hair for that, I think, for that to be cool again. Not again. How's it going? Not happening. Come to NANPC Boston in Norton, Massachusetts. Come to NANPC. Yeah. So that is coming up in just a couple weeks. It's a week and a half, basically. Okay, 2 weeks. It's in literally 2 weeks. For those who don't know, NANPC is a player's circuit of events around North America. We'll be running one a bit later. That was so cool. Thank you. Thank you. The NPC one is coming up, the Boston one, excuse me, which is just outside of Boston, the 25th and 26th. This is a city of, I think, the Boston skyline. I can't tell. I don't see the beans. And it's coming up real soon. It's in Mansfield. Today, Patrick and I booked our hotel. We're going to be staying like 15 minutes outside of the area because there's like a bunch of small kind of villages. We found a really weird inn that we're staying at, so we're looking forward to it. But we're going to be down there. I know there's a lot of conversations going on behind the scene of when and how and if it'll be streamed. I'm not sure if I'm playing or doing commentary. I think I might be doing live commentary, which is kind of fun, but I'm so stoked to come on down. That's sick. Yeah, I'm excited, Daria. It's going to be good fun. On that note, I will be able to return tomorrow. Let me try that again. I'll be able to return next week. Because yesterday we came and I went to the Silver Goblin, which is the best store in Montreal to play card games. And we talked about when we can book an NPC date. We have a soft date. They just said they wanted a week to like lock it down to make sure that it makes sense and make sure that there's not anything that they just didn't see coming. But that means as of next Wednesday, 1 week from now, from yesterday, we'll be able to lock the day in. And as soon as that happens, I'll let you know when that date is. I know on the NPC website it says September. It's looking closer to August, so it'll be a bit sooner than I think it says on the website. But yeah, just keep that in mind. It'll be a weekend at the end of August. I'll be able to tell you the day excitedly next week as soon as you guys lock down. Seems to all be streamed all thanks to y'all's effort. Yeah, there's a lot of people behind the scenes. It's not me. It's not me. But there's a lot of folks who are getting in a lot of effort to make sure that's streamed because I think people understand that this stuff needs to be sick and accessible. Yo, Benjamin, how's it going? Starting the stream right after class ends is just procrastination city population me. How's class? What should you be doing? Because we gotta, you gotta understand what you could be doing. Hey, River, sup? Always love when the stream title is ambiguous. This one's like slightly ambiguous. I spent a lot of time stressing about stream titles. This one was like, no, actually, this one wasn't that bad. Yeah, especially the y'all in the chat. Yeah, it's the y'all in the chat for sure. Hey, Supernut. Hello, Mr. Grid. How's it going? That didn't come in through. Hold on. Why did it not come through to my restream? What the heck? I see it in YouTube, but it's not here in restream, and I don't know why. Supernut, how's it going? Apologies if I miss a message. Sunny D20. That came through nice and clear. I don't know what's going on. How's it going, Sunny D? Just joking. I'm doing homework at the same time. Yeah, sure. Do my homework. I got 3 monitors open. Just, yeah, we'll see. We were expecting a ban list. The last day the ban list can come out according to the rules that NSG put out in front of them is tomorrow. It looks like it is tomorrow. I'd be so stoked. It'll probably be tomorrow morning when we wake up. It'll be there. By we, I mean East Coasters. I'm so stoked if I can just hit the refresh button at some point during the stream and it'll come up. But that's a really big deal for a lot of folks. I know we've talked about it a bit on the last couple streams, what we want for a ban list, what we're expecting, and yeah. Gonna be interesting how it is. I know I took a bit of break from recording gameplay because right now I'm trying to make an Anaytica deck work and it's been a bit frustrating. I'm not sure if the ban list is going to exactly fix that. I hope there's some things it can do to make some corps feel a bit more powerful. PD is dead? There's no way. It'll never happen. Ryan, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm celebrating a 4-year anniversary with my partner tomorrow. Congratulations, Ryan. Y'all doing something cool? Or are you just taking it easy? Congratulations to both of you, huh? Rest in peace. Send a message. That one came through, super not. What do y'all think? I think we made some art. Okay, so my like short guesses are we'll see something to address Anarchs. I'm hoping Labor Rights goes. I think we're going to see nothing banned from the new set. I think it's way too soon for that. What else do I want to see banned? I want something that addresses the breakers right now, because I've been tracking like what breakers I'm seeing from game to game to game, and the ubiquity of certain breaker suites is getting a bit tiring. I think that's it. And I think like banning Rococo makes sense for like NSIGs and stuff. Would a turbine ban be wild? So that's the thing, is like, I don't know if you can just straight out ban turbine. It's weird. It's like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think turbine is fine as a support piece. I just think the pieces that go with are become like way too upside, way too little downside without turbine. But like, I think turbine's an interesting piece just so the meta doesn't end up going into like, you know, Architects of Tomorrow territory, right? Like full Glacier, like Sisyphus Protocol Ag Infusion, right? Like it's nice that there is counters built into that if the meta calls for it. I just feel like everyone and their dog or whatever is playing turbine right now just because it works really, really, really well with breakers that are playing. Does NSG ever restrict cards? Benjamin, they used to. So NSG, if you say we can go to this, we go to the ban list. There was a bunch of different mediums or different ways that NSG restricted and banned cards or did their balance list. I couldn't tell you the last time, but they used to have restricted cards, and restricted cards were cards of which if you had one playset of any amount of a restricted card, it predicated, well, I don't know if I'm using the word right. You could not play any other restricted cards, right? So they were still banned cards, but there's also a restricted list. I feel like that hasn't happened in 2 or 3 years. I couldn't tell you exactly when it is. Maybe we'll find it. I think, yeah, it's probably right here. In 2021, where the name changed, or sorry, in 2020, where the name changes from the most wanted list, which is kind of a holdover from FFG times, because that was a bit of an in-lore thing, to the standard ban list. As soon as it became the standard ban list, it was only banned cards. But as soon as, like, you know, 4 years ago, there was also restricted cards. So you saw all these cards. Some of these cards are still in, you know, circulation today. Things like Ngolo and Aesop's Pawn Shop and Inversificator and Labor Rights and Mad Dash. Like, some of these cards are still playable. But the idea is that if you wanted to play Film Critic in your deck, you couldn't play Gang Sign. Which is interesting. What did Gang Sign go with in this list? I guess it would be like, yeah, I don't know. You can't play Paperclip, I guess. On the corp side, also a bunch of restricted cards. Global Food Initiative, just a massive neutral restricted card that I think showed up in more decks than not, besides specifically Jinteki stuff that was doing Obokata. We banished Cleaver or Buzzsaw. I think that's going to happen eventually. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. I think it's about time it will happen. Rococo getting banned? I think that's a safe bet. We booked a cabin for the weekend, hoping to have a nice anniversary. Yo, enjoy. Really good. Sunny, NPC's next week and banlist is tomorrow. Don't mix up the dates and get there a week. Banlist dropping a day before an NPC. No, yeah, it's not a day before. It's a week before. And they said specifically that the ban list will be accepted for the upcoming NPC event. Technically for NSG competitive tier events, which this technically is not, you need about 2 weeks of legality. But NPC said, whatever, I don't care, which is sick. Yeah, the ban list drop was confirmed to be 17th, the day of Con's announcement. Yeah. So it's soon. They said it wouldn't happen so what they said when they said the ban list date is they said the ban list would come at least 2 weeks before Continentals. And I believe June 1st is the first Continentals, the online Continentals. So it has to be out 2 weeks before that, which means it has to come out tomorrow, which is what everyone's like expecting. So we'll see. Anyways, yeah, they used to do restricted cards. I think there's a bunch of people that miss restricted cards. Specifically, if you're talking about problems like, you know, Turbine, Buzzsaw, that's one way to solve it. You restrict one of those for sure. Anytime there's like a problematic combo, you just get rid of one half of it, and it stops people from like being able to do that, right? Like, can you restrict Labor Rights and Ashen? So then holding onto your Ashen is a bit more of a cost into the mid to late game. Or can you restrict Nob Kari and Labor Rights? So like, if you want to play Labor Rights recursion, you can't have a virus package that unendingly, like, you know, well, literally doesn't end. I think there's a bunch of things you can do with that. That being said, there's a lot of simplicity to a ban list, and specifically for a game that definitely needs new players as much as it can get, because it's, you know, this doesn't have the sort of public on-store shelves as commonly as it used to. There's something about accessibility, and so this is definitely very elegant, and there's less overhead if you want to like enter into you know, organized play for sure. I'm honestly considering going back to my ban list decision for an NPC, but too late now. Like reverting it, not again. Why? Hey, Lucille, I'm late for the stream because I was building a startup Mayfly only Arisana deck with focus on GLC, but I'm actually here this time. I don't have any important meetings tomorrow. Yeah, welcome. Welcome. I know we asked this a while ago. Hopefully the new job is going okay. But welcome to the stream. I made myself coffee because I don't know. I ate something that just like is sitting like a brick. So late night coffee, let's go. Notigan says no comment. That's honestly kind of frightening. I don't know what you know, man. I don't know. Free museum party parrot. Cranked, how's it going? Yeah. I had a shirt that used to say hashtag ban museum on it. I don't know what happened to that shirt. This card it's like really funny in retrospect. I was going through some of the older FFG cards, and just for the history lesson, this flag, this is the Mumbad cycle. The Mumbad cycle was a very, very, very rough time for Netrunner, for those who are playing somewhat recently and don't know all the FFG history. So Netrunner was like a darling for many, many people, top of like Board Game Geek, right? Like it had a lot of traffic, a lot of visibility, because everyone could agree this is kind of the wildest, best card game. And it was accessible as an LCG as compared to a CCG, of course. There are problems, but it's definitely a different part of everything. And the Mumbad cycle was a really, really rough spot. Because specifically in the Mumbad cycle, a lot of people stopped playing the game and stopped collecting and stopped going to events because it was a cycle that was kind of, it was a lot of assets. Most decks at that era were a lot of assets. And so cards like Museum of History are kind of emblematic of that era. So firstly, there was a lot of cards that have kind of laughable downsides, and let alone the downsides that say, like, if you don't want to, pay influence for this, do this, kind of made the game worse. So for instance, this is Museum of History. It says you have to play a massive deck, which is really annoying because you ended up playing a 54 card deck with mostly 3-pointers. And then it was like an infinite recursion card that could even recur themselves, and they were non-unique. So anything you trashed, okay, if one museum snuck through it, put it back into the deck, and you shuffle turn after turn after turn. This being like a downside made the game worse because more people were pursuing this, and this is not something you want to do. Funny enough, Mumba Temple, same thing. If you have 15 or fewer ice in your deck, is hilarious to see as a downside. And clearly the designers back then thought that was actually a trade, but the idea is that Mumba Temple, that is a downside. It does kind of keep this out of being something in a value remote server in some sort of, I don't know, PD type equivalent. But most importantly is that we just played Acid Spam. And there's just so many cards like this that were just very, 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 very good. And you just put so many of them on the table and went horizontal. Like, this is laughable because most of the decks back then had like 6 pieces of ice, 7 pieces of ice. We weren't even getting close to that number. Hectorist, how's it going? I do want to shout out, wait, what do I want to look up? One thing that I wanted to look up that I was kind of surprised. This was one of the most powerful cards of the time too. We had the political subtype was introduced in the Mumbad cycle, and we still see political cards today. We saw a bunch of political cards in the last, like, Rebelling Without Rehearsal. And political cards are cards that specifically do something when they're not iced. These were exclusively not iced. The modern ones, mind you, have a bit of modality between iced and not iced. But this card was absurd. This was just like, mind you, way before Rashida, but draw 3 and then fix your hand is just one of the most disgusting things that if it fires on turn 1, congratulations, the acid deck had 3 more cards to like put on the table. Except IG49. Hey, Cat, how's it going? Mumbad cycle was a masochistic cycle for sure. Hot take, Netrunner's best when the best decks try to score points. I 100% agree. I don't think it's a hot take. I want more Netrunner to be at scoring points. Bioethics and City Hall were the real offenders. Museum never got played while it was legal after the other Mumbad assets junk got banned. I don't think it's exactly true, Crank, but you're definitely like, this one was a really, really big deal. So bioethics was its own thing, right? And for what it's worth, you could see a bioethics reprint in an NSG world. It's not too absurd. But this sort of card was, again, a big issue because this card was on the table and you could spend a click to search R&D for an alliance card, reveal it, and then install it. Alliance was a subtype of on cards. Generally, the alliance card said, like, this card doesn't cost influence if you do this condition. So to show you one example, Jeeves is a really important card. Jeeves, mind you, is basically a proto wage workers. This is what wage workers used to be. And if it didn't cost any influence, if you had at least 6 or more HB cards in your deck. Now that sounds like an interesting deck building clause, and I'd argue in some ways it is, but in other ways it wasn't, because it just homogenized a lot of decks, because a lot of decks just ended up being like, okay, well, this is one of the best, low influence HB cards we can play, so you just ended up seeing way more like 3 teams, Maryland's 3 team sponsorships in most decks, because not only were these the best cards for assets, but these were also the best cards for alliance. So decks actually homogenized more than they became creative, as much as it did force you to do something. It never felt like too big of an ask. Mind you, team sponsorship we're seeing a lot of cards right now modernly that are reimaginings of old cards from the Mumbad cycle even. Team sponsorship is frankly what, non-unique, one more trash cost for what the powers that be. I'm going to catch up on chat in a second. But the big thing with this card is that if it stayed on the table, oops, click, 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 you spawned 3 things on the table, or not this guy, this thing. And that was a problem because things got worse and worse and worse, and you could pull out your Mumba temples. The funniest thing with this card, and I don't know specifically if this is now in the NSG rules, but if you look at the wording of this, it says search R&D for an alliance card, reveal it, and play or install it, paying all costs. Then shuffle R&D. Those are two separate clauses. And what actually happened for a couple months before FFG stepped in is that when you played this card, you would pick up your deck and you look through your deck. And in theory, whatever card that you installed or played, and mind you, there were Alliance operations, you played before shuffling your deck. So what was a really weird but common thing is that you would you look through your deck and you look at the top 3 cards, remember what those are, and then if the top 3 cards of your deck were good, you played Heritage Committee, which says draw 3 cards, add 1 card from HQ to the top of R&D. So you looked at your deck while you were holding it, and if the top 3 cards looked good, you would grab them. If they looked bad, you would just fail to search for the Heritage Committee because you don't have to say what you're searching for, and then you just grab something else, like a Mumbat Temple, for instance, which is a great Alliance card in most board states. It's such a goofy rule that you can pick up your deck, look at the top 3, and then decide what to pull down. And so I think it was a couple months after, but FFG said you have to shuffle now before resolving any search effect answers. But just the fact that these things are 2 separate clauses really definitely mattered in this specific card, which was incredibly powerful. Hey, Andre, looking forward to saying hi in Boston. Yo, hell yeah. You know what, Rohit? I haven't sent you something, so I'm just going to give it to you in Boston. That makes way more sense. I probably should have done that sooner. Sorry I didn't send it sooner. Hey, Andre, stream. Hey, Hector, I said hi already. How you doing? Museum did nothing wrong. I'm going to go to my grave believing this to my core. No, it definitely did. Somebody resin off the grid out of Earth Station against me yesterday, and now I'm scared of all the FFG cards. Oh, crap. For the, yeah, for the tournament on Sunday, there's definitely some like weird interactions. I don't want to spoil the interaction that I think I'll swing into, but there's definitely some card combos that are going to be super, super rude. The thing is, like, they're all Eternal safe. So like if Eternal can do them, you can do them in standard, but it's going to be weird for sure. I originally stopped playing after Ordering Chaos, and everyone talked to was like, you got it at the right time. Yeah, for sure. Mumbat Cycle was definitely a weird, rough spot. Now, one thing I want to ask, and this is something I'm pretty sure the ban list is going to address to some extent, but when we did the tournament, we did the Fly to EMEA #2, and we started to sing like these NBN asset spam decks, and the NBN and asset spam decks were running like 22 to 25 assets. How many assets do you think decks back then were actually running? Like a CTM deck from that era, how many assets were they running? And I think the biggest case was probably like what's it called, a Gagarin deck. Like how much assets in a hot tub deck? I have a lot of good memories of early FFG Runner. FFG Runner was really good. Mumbat definitely was a sore spot though. Unfortunately, it was not fixed soon enough. There's also like, I can't really get quoted on it too much because I don't know too well, but there was like some post-mortems talking about like, why did the Mumbat City Hall, why did the Mumbat meta happen the way it happened? And just internally in testing, nobody was pushing assets the way that the public did. And that's, you know, unfortunate. I thought Bladder was the bioethics. Yeah, it's the closest we have. Hey, Jairo, how's it going? This was the thing that was super messed up. Literally impossible to play City Hall in a fair way. The nested trigger thing with Heritage Committee makes my stick to my stomach. I think it's really cool. It's genuinely really cool. NSG rules, this would shuffle twice. Hey, Brendan, how's it going? Don't worry about the thing, but I appreciate it. Yeah. I think like sub 20, 15-ish. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I was so surprised. If I search Sensi's Actor Union, which was a very good asset deck, and then I pull up some of the most performing, like, this is the world CTM deck. How many assets is a world CTM's deck? It's like 9. 9 assets. I remember CTM 7 influence, mind you. That's because there was like extra influence on cards. You had to pay universal influence, I'm pretty sure. But I remember this deck having way more than 9 assets. Now, of course, this is like also with upgrades, but that is way less assets and upgrades than I remembered being in a Controlling the Message deck, let alone one that won Worlds. I think to make this like really obvious, we have to look at like Mumba Temple and see like how many assets are in a Gagarin deck, for instance. Those are rookie numbers. You got to bump those. Yeah, 9 is so low. So say we go here and then we're going to run into a bunch of this, but like Chibata CTM, this is Yakuza's bread deck. This is, mind you, 2022. So this is NSG world. This is going to have 24 assets, right? Like this is modern asset spam. No upgrades, 24 assets. But if you go for something at that era, like this, mind you, is 2-time Dan Dargenio World Champions hot tub deck, which at the time was like pretty wild. This is probably running 30 assets. It's admittedly a 54 card deck, but this was like the worst asset spam that you ran into. 30 cards and 54. The deck was mostly assets. And then of course, like some very powerful operations that would actually close the game. Sea Source into Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth killed most runners. But this is when things got really quite bad. I brought a deck like this to Worlds, had both a great and a terrible time, met some nice people, but it was a bit of a grind. But this is like I'm so surprised that I misremember CTM for having way more assets when this I know is like one of the big offenders, but I can't remember how many other assets were in other decks. Like this is Chris Ferg's tablet asset. This, mind you, is the NSG era. This is probably only like 10 assets. 21? Shit. I was off by a bit. What's something else old? Legend of the Hidden Temple. This is also going to be like hot tubs types assets, like 30 assets at 26 assets. More ice than I remember. Like, imagine playing 26 assets and still running 13 ice. Like, that's hilarious. That is really funny. And it's because the deck is running no operations. Only this win more nonsense. So goofy. And then, like, we don't talk about IG around here, really. Requiem for a Museum 2018, final FFG Worlds. This is 19 assets, right? Like, it got bigger later. But I, like, that era, it was strange. CTM has had way more than 9 assets. Also, sensing MVT is quite the asset. Oh, yeah, Jeff, I totally agree. But, like, I was surprised that that deck that won Worlds, like, Dyer's deck was 9 assets, 4 upgrades. Like, those are rookie numbers. Those are really low numbers. Imagine it was Global Foods. Imagine what? Is this, do you know this man's progenitor? Wait, sorry, Eric? Just wait until we build PE assets with 30 assets. Yeah, I know. 8 agendas in a 54 card deck, yes. And that is honestly like one of the worst parts about this sort of deck is that it has the most cursed numbers. Again, they printed a card that forced you to play a 54 card deck. And 54 is a pretty rough number because you can get away with playing 8 agendas. And so you need to steal, 3 of these agendas to win the game. And there's 8 agendas in, 54 cards. The numbers are just very, 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 very hard. Now they're functionally blank agendas, right? Like this card is terrible. You never scored it. It gave the deck the name, but like you just ran the worst agendas possible. New construction, mind you, did allow you to fast advance and weird combos. Hollywood renovation technically had a combo associated with it because Mumbai Construction Company is technically a way to leverage infinite credits into a win condition as much as you almost never saw it. But yeah, really weird. It's really, really strange to go back and search Senseis and find decks with 9 assets. You should see how many assets Astro Train had. Oh, that's a good question. Let's search Astro and let's search like marked accounts. Is that what it's called? Marked accounts? Is that the accounts I'm thinking of? Let's search marked accounts. Let's search San City Grid, and then let's search Beal. And we'll find an NBN fast advance deck circa 2013, 2014. It'll have like 3 pad campaigns, maybe 3 daily business shows out then. It'll have 3 market accounts. This one's called High Assets. So 2015 special, 2014 winner GNK Card Kingdom Seattle. And the thing is, when you say win a GNK in 2014, you might be thinking, oh, that's really cute. You won an event with 9 players. No. In 2014, you played at a GNK, there was like 28 players. Netrunner had a different scale of stuff, like 16 assets for a deck that actually has called itself assets, right? And mainly 4 upgrades, like 20, that's not bad. But this is also like a strange, some sort of shop deck, if you want to call it that, before it was called that. TGTBT, cool. Meteor Storm, 10 assets. 3 San City Grids, Near Earth Hub. Near Earth Hub with 10 assets. What a time to be alive. So wild. People like when scoring out is good, but I honestly do like when C-Search is good too. Yeah, it's a hard line to balance for sure. Spag CTM lists were also so wild. Probably my favorite deck building of all time. Yeah, I do like Spags' decks almost always. He was always most fun to cast and to watch. I was saying that with, if 8 agendas, 54 is on GFI. Yeah, that deck could not play GFI. Was Hot Tub Machine the progenitor Have You Seen This Man by Rangi Doge? I don't even know what Have You Seen This Man is. Is that the name of the deck list? I'm not actually sure, Eric. I remember using Mumbai Construction Company casting call to FA Vanity Project. Yep, yeah, you could do some wild stuff. I work hard every day to make AstroScript for the modern age work. Embers Sansan Remastered. Oh man, yeah, this card used to be so wild. We used to be so excited about just scoring out 3 2s. Shipment from Sansan too is just like such a fun card. Its the name is Cascadia NEH deck. Oh, maybe then. All right. Hey, speaking of Jeff, Jeff's in chat. Jeff dropped this video just earlier this morning. I've liked it on a different account. I'll like it on this account. It's called Null Signal Games Developers Discuss Rebellion Without Rehearsal. And this is a video that I think was a long time coming. And it's Jeff sitting down with, it turns out it's eventually 3 people from NSG. So Safer's there in the middle, Test running on the right, and eventually Devatus joins. And they talk about a bit about, Rebellion Without Rehearsal and the design process and the playtesting process and all that good stuff. I want to say this sort of stuff is like super, super, super valuable and really interesting too. like specifically hearing some of the stories behind what worked, what people were excited about, what didn't work, what was a struggle. And it gives you some insights on why things are certain ways. I can't recommend enough to watch this if you care about this sort of thing, but like some of the biggest questions come up that get answered and you understand why people are thinking a certain way. So for example, only mild spoilers. I think for some people, it might be offensive that Aquaceres crew does not remove itself from the game. That is super notable. This is one of the few ice destruction cards in the format that doesn't remove itself from the game. And they were talking about that, like they definitely considered that. But at the end of the day, they thought that would be an inelegant solution considering this card came alongside privileged access. And this is like the genuine card that privileged access, like the card that you want to recur with privileged access on more board states. And so the value of this card is almost entirely attached to the value of this card. And I imagine if this did remove itself from the game, would you be more upset about it? And the answer came down to be kind of yes. And that's fascinating. That's a really cool thing to think about when why is this like this in the context of testing and all that other sort of stuff. You also hear the conversation about Aquaceres crew. Like it's obviously very powerful. NSG folks are saying that like they understand that this is one of the big payoffs to Seb. Why you should play Seb is Aquaceres crew. And I unfortunately do feel that. It feels like the decks or the games where you draw Aquaceres crew in the top like 5 or 10 cards of your deck versus the ones that you don't, you're basically playing a blank ID. And then one thing they did also mention, which takes a bit of humility for sure, is that they did not in testing see too much Devil Charm interaction. And I think Devil Charm is a reason I do not enjoy Aquaceres crew modernly in the standard format, because it just eats all your ice immediately on encounter. And that is a bummer. There's like 2 or 3 ice in the whole format that's above 6 strength. So not that you can't get through 8 strength ice in theory. But yeah, that is something that they just didn't test. And I think you can understand a bit why it wasn't pushed, because Aquaceres crew was always considered a really good card in testing. And they were like, you know, pushing it in other ways and dialing the numbers down, that it didn't feel necessary to pair it with another card, probably. I can't say exactly like why that is, but this is something that NSG has clearly said, at least in this, like there wasn't enough Devil Charm testing with Aquaceres crew, and that might be a problem in the future. Do you just feels better in Hosh? No, I agree. It might feel better in Hosh. And I think that's the problem with Seb, is that like Seb doesn't have a good reason to be running or kind of interacting in general. And that's not great. I think further support can help, but who knows? Another really interesting thing that came up, again, watch the video, is the fact that like there's obviously this symmetry between Piranhas and Valenchao. And that was not inherently intentional from day one. It was something that happened organically, that there was this code gate, and then at certain strengths it didn't make sense because it was too close to other code gates in the code gate pool, so they increased the strength, then they increased the cost, and then thought this was way too strong, so they had to change the numbers, and then realized, why don't we just add a downside to the res of it? And then they ended up with something that's basically the flipped version of Valenchao, which is incredible, because you would not have considered that to be an option, but this was an accidental Valenchao partner, not a natural like inclusion, which is kind of goofy and really, really cool. Do we know how long the interview was recorded? Yo, Power Guys, I specifically asked that to Jeff Sunday. It's a very fresh interview. It wasn't recorded weeks ago. So any like considerations that you think NSG or any of these 3 nice folks would think about the meta was a Sunday ago. So as recently as basically this. It's not an early, oh, it sounded like an early scoop for the next ban list? Yeah, it might be. It might be. Haven't watched the video yet, so there may be more than I'm not appreciating right now, but I'm not sure card B makes card A better is good justification to vacuum. What do you mean, Gyro? I wish that was a podcast. Yeah, me too. I have YouTube Premium, so I can listen to it audio only and download it. It does make it a lot better, and Jeff makes more ad revenue. So that's one way to do it. It's a bit expensive. Hey, D. You mean the deck that came to be known as Table Carnage? Yes, I think that was the name. Cool. As regards to practices existing leading to crew not RFGing, like, it's obviously not bulletproof, but I do think it makes sense, is that I think I would be upset if, you know, the one target I want to practice removed itself from the game. Like, obviously there's still gonna be problems, and the designers at NSG were very clear that like, if this is an issue, obviously we'll do something about it. As of now, it hasn't been a problem, and I think that's totally true. As of now, Aquaceres crew hasn't proven to be a problem. I think it can, and it will be eventually. Right now, it's not yet, but at that time, they'll do something about it for sure. Brand new to the game, started Sunday. Your videos are massive help. Yoga Pants, Yogurt Pants, a funny name. Welcome to the game. How's it been so far? We've been a bit quiet on videos as of recent. We need to fix that real soon. Welcome to the game. Yeah, anyways, a couple things I wanted to say about this video specifically is like, so Jeff talks about playtesting, and obviously Jeff is part of NSG, bless him. Safer reached out to me and specifically said like, hey, I just want to be very clear. Like, I know I'm doing a video in the future with Jeff talking about design stuff, but like, if you want to have folks on from NSG and talk about it, like, this is not an inside clique. Like, we're very happy to like meet with anyone. So if you see this and think like, oh, it's just NSG people talking with NSG people, that's not by design. It's not by intention. NSG was like very, very specifically Safer was like very, very upfront to be like, hey, if you want to talk at any point, we can have you. We'll come on the thing. We'll talk. It'll be totally fine. So if you, that's cool. That's very, very, very cool. It's not just like NSG people getting nice NSG interviews. Yeah, cool. Check it out. You hear a lot of the effort and the work goes into it, hearing what people are really proud of and what works and what doesn't work. Obviously it's such a struggle. I also think like this is so important to me because one thing that was so notable about this last set launch was that it didn't come with any design documents. I think this was the first set launch in a really, really, really long time in which there wasn't an article up on Null Signal Games that was authored by the developers talking about mechanics. And I think that's actually a really important thing about this set, because this set, if you ask me, has some fundamental kind of changes on how it like thinks about the game, right? Like NSG has gone on record saying things, and this was like last, I think, quoted maybe 2 years ago in an update for the ban list when Archive Memories got banned, right? Archive Memories was a card that was banned by NSG about 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And they said that they want recursion to be a bit more interesting, and they don't want you to just play against the same cards over and over again, right? And mind you, Archive Memories was largely banned in context of people spamming the same tag punishment. And yet somehow in this set, this is definitely a pain point that I brought up, is there's a lot of recursion in the set. There's like 8-9 recursion cards, which is more than 4 times in one half of the set of the whole cycle that came before it, which is notably strange. And it's not so that I like think that's wrong and you shouldn't do with it, but more so like clearly there's been some changes of like considerations of what's considered okay and what's considered exciting in Netrunner. And that's fine. NSG can have those changes. I think a lot of people enjoy a lot of the new cards from the set for sure, but I just missed some sort of intention. I wanted to hear from a designer to be like, we made some changes. We made these cards. We think this card is cool, even though Archive Memories is not, for this reason. And I think that's something I really missed from this. I felt like I missed when this set came out during the launch cycle, hearing any sort of authorial intent outside of like lore stuff. Like we didn't this set hear a lot of authorial intent, which is why I think videos like this, while they don't exactly solve the or answer all authorial intent questions, are really important to me. So I want to hear more of that. I'm a fan of recursion unless I'm the one doing it. The fact that you can play Mayfly 48 times in startup is deeply silly. Is it actually 48 times? Game design includes card synergy. If you only design evaluate cards in a vacuum, you end up with a very narrow design space. For sure. Would it be a fair experience to stick to just the Nisei stuff? Do you recommend any of the Android stuff? Yoga Pants. I would 100% stick to NSG stuff if you're a new player. It's very much knowing the old Android stuff, the FFG stuff, as we'll call it, has been out of print for a long time. And if you want to pick up the original copies of that stuff from secondary markets, it gets really expensive really quickly. Now, very importantly, if you want to play the standard format, which is the format with the largest card pool, it's probably the most popular format, but it's not the most approachable format because it is a larger card pool. Some part of that format is the standard card pool, which is the FFG card pool. Now, 2 things are important here to remember. Firstly, at all levels of organized play, if you want to come out and you'll meet people and play, proxies are allowed. So if you don't own any card, FFG or NSG, you're allowed to print out a copy of it and sleeve it up and go to an event. So as long as you have access to a printer, you now technically own every FFG card. So if you want to go out to events and play, you're set. Now, second thing is that all FFG cards in terms of organized play in the standard format are going to be rotating entirely out of the universe of Netrunner, NSG's Netrunner, either later this year or whenever Dawn comes out, which I'm beginning to expect might not be exactly later this year. But the next release that NSG is going to put out is going to rotate all of FFG. So the Android stuff, if you're caring about organized play, is going to be useless. Now, you're probably, as a newer player, just more interested in playing tabletop play, kitchen table play, making some friends, that sort of stuff. And of course, there is no formats. You can do whatever the heck you want. And I would highly recommend, if you want to do what the heck you want, pick up all the NSG stuff first by a mile. It should be cheaper and easier to get. You can print and play for free on the website or order directly, depending on what area you're in. I think the European store is currently closed, unfortunately, for the next little bit. But I would 100%, NSG has some great stuff that's way more accessible. And there's so much of it that I don't think you need FFG stuff until you get further. Wait, why is Dawn not coming out this year? I've heard nothing official. We haven't heard updates on it in a while. Normally we get these updates that say like, hey, this is where we are. These are the developer product updates. What are they called? Project manager stuff. We haven't heard anything yet. Like, I don't know. I honestly do not know, but it's the sort of thing that like NSG has, I don't think any NSG set has launched on the day that they originally first intended them to come out. And that's something you have to just come to bear with. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'd rather have a late set that's fantastic than an early set that's not that great. Not that the sets haven't been that great, but you know what I mean, abstractly. That's what I would say. I don't think we've heard enough news about Dawn. I think Dawn is such a monumental task that I'm pretty sure Dawn is going to be a bit later than we all would want it to be. For better or for worse. I just suspected, Benjamin. There's been nothing official. Can I be a proxy for another person? Ask you for a friend? You probably can, yeah. It's called smurfing. It's fine. Mayfly into Muse, Mayfly into Tester, and Muse, Mayfly into Muse, Mayfly, all three, then 3x Ash, and do that all again in 48 Mayfly. And you can import Praxis. Yeah, that sounds about right. There's a lot of recursion right now. That's just RWR, guys. That's wild. That's super, super, super wild. Thanks for the help. Keep on keeping on. This is good enough for me to actually organize and run tournaments. Yes, 100%. Check out the startup format, which is a much smaller card pool. It's just like system gateway, system update, and then like the last cycle, which is a liberation cycle. But if you want to dive into standard, which obviously is a bit more daunting, but from what I've heard right now is a much more fulfilling meta or format, you can proxy whatever the heck you want. Just get a printer. Sets like Dawn especially need to be great. Yeah, they need to be great. I'm curious how this meta will shake out more. Yeah, me too. Ban list tomorrow. I think that's a really big deal. NPC Boston's gonna be a big thing. There's a lot of events coming up, so we're gonna see it get tested immediately. Do not check out startups. Lucille, you can't yell. Keep your voice down. The later Dawn is the longer startup is gonna be a wild format. Well, no, Lucille, they'll probably do something about it. Like, I don't know what it is, but like the startup balance squad council, they have like a really actually interesting name. They'll probably do something about it. I don't think it'll be like that forever. Cranked, are you on an NPC? Yo, I didn't know I was going to see you in a bit. Hell yeah. The idea of an evergreen set is kind of concerning to me just in principle. Well, System Gateway's evergreen in principle. They could rotate at some point. I don't think they would. Like, they would change it. But like, technically the FFG core sets were not evergreen. They didn't change. You'll see all here standards of cool format. I have over 200 games of startup since RWR came out. Would not recommend this format. Lucy, like, I hear you and I've heard that from a bunch of other people, but like, I do want to try it. Like, I need to taste that taste. I need to see what it's like. So let's see. Import Mumbad to startup, easy fix. I don't think they'll ever import cards into startup for accessibility, but they'll just like remove cards from startup to be like, okay, there's no more punitive in startup. You happy? And see what happens. Yeah. I always need to play on JNet more, but sure I don't. You got to get the snares in there. Oh, sorry. That's Brennan, not Super Not. Yeah. All right, here we go. Mind you, I said this at the top of the stream. If I'm moving my head really weird, I promise at the top of the stream I would go this far. I would go the entire stream without touching my hair. It's a thing I do habitually. I'm trying not to do it, and it is hurting my mind. Hey, Bing Bonkel, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. All right, we got a deck list of the week. It's EA Get Good. That is a targeted jab at EA Sports, a UK testing team that I'm assuming didn't come in first because over here Jonald came in second. Jonald's showing a pretty cool rep sheet of playing only one ID forever, which like, it's really cool to be like very proud that you're incredibly one-dimensional. I'm kidding. I'm way more scared of people who like focus on one thing. I could not help myself. Really good standings too, Jonald. Well done. Absolutely fantastic. Yoga pants, thank you. Oh, that's very kind. Tip of the hat to you, good sir. Hey, appreciate it. Welcome to the game. Grabbing the headband hat beanie could help with that. Yeah, maybe I should just get my I have a shaper beanie. Thanks again, yoga pants. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Jonald's really, really nice. I just thought it was funny. I think there's a couple decks that when RWR came out that I haven't been playing a lot, even though I think they're both very satisfying and very good. And one of them, for example, is Op decks. Like, this Op deck has 1.5 new cards from the new set. And you could argue that most of them are pretty important. Basalt Spire means you can play an Op deck that doesn't just lose off of R&D, where you're playing like 13 agendas. You're playing Basalt Spire, which is obviously a very powerful card in most board states. If you score it out, you're kind of off to the races and you can kind of fast advance everything else out from hand. It's really, really great. And it has a 3 on it. So there's just less slots in your deck to do agendas and to do other things and not just lose to R&D, which Op does faster than most other identities do because you're removing constantly non-agenda cards from R&D. So then R&D becomes suddenly like 1 in 3 as an agenda in the mid to late game if it goes that far. Now, the other 2 cards, if I'm not missing anything, checking really quickly, I think I'm good, is Descent. Descent has been okay. Descent has been like such a surprisingly mid card. Well, when we first saw it, we're like unbelievable. A 2-cost end the run code gate, like a 2-cost code gate or 2-cost ice was already on the checklist of things we wanted in op, because Wayland, as soon as Formicary had got banned, had literally no 2-cost ice. And with op, you really care about those chains, right? In this slot, you could see wraparound. More often you'd see Thimble Rigs. You saw Owl at some points, White Space at some points, but it's mostly Thimble Rig and wraparound. And I feel like there's another 2-coster that saw some play, Tattoo Bola, I think. So this is nice. There's still reasons to consider the other cards. I think Thimble Rig is still really good. Is it in the deck? It's not. So that's kind of cool. And its text is fine. It seems much more necessary in what's it called, in Nuvum, Nuve, I think is probably how we're meant to say it. Shout out to Debatus saying it correctly on the thing, but we'll get there. Half run counts. Oh yeah, half run counts. Yeah, cranked. Half run does count. Okay, in some ways it does. But yeah, that's totally something we can now play. And this is the other big one, Holo Man. And for how important this card is and how powerful it is, it's still pretty divisive in lists like this. Is the Holo Man better than running more seamless launches? I don't know. Because inherently, Holo Man's really cool in op, because this sort of thing of not installing a card from HQ this turn is kind of easy to circumvent with op in some ways, because you can produce the Holo Man from your deck by just purging him a virus on any turn. So say that you had an Atlas in the remote server and it survives the turn cycle, you can just purge him a virus on hopefully their turn, get the Holo Man on the table, use the Holo Man, and then for 6 credits, you can get all the Atlas tokens you could ever need, which is pretty wild. Arella is better than Holo Man. I think they do different things, Radish. Like Arella helps you snowball. Holo Man is a bit more of a snowball card. Like the idea that it could fire twice seems like such a dream to me. But in theory, you could. And so the question is, like, is Holo Man better than other options? Like just more seamless launches, which are infinitely more cheap. And I honestly don't know. Because this is the thing. These sort of decks that only got like 1 new card or 2 new cards and that don't really change their play patterns, as much as Holo Man does actually significantly change the play patterns. I just haven't put an effort into it because I've been trying to pursue more of the new cards and new ideas, and not to like poo-poo on this, because this stuff is sick and it's doing well and it is creative and fun and expressive and a really exciting deck to watch. We'll see. Holo Man lets you NA 5/3s while also being a fast events tool. Yeah, it can. I've also seen like a shout out, I think Cold Lava was playing a version of this that was running 1 copy of Too Big to Fail, which I've seen as a nice way to, like, once you fired the Holo Man and spent like heaven forbid 9 credits scoring on an agenda or whatever the terrible numbers come out to be, is that you can fire Malapert and then get a Too Big to Fail. And Too Big to Fail is a 7 credit econ card, which is probably all of the money you need from that point forward to close the game out, which is kind of cool. So there's ways to work around it, but inherently it is very expensive, and that can be a problem. We're also still a Managarm, which without Formicary is still pretty cool. I think a lot of runners are making hard and difficult runs and repeated runs when they have to beat the strength of things like border control. So Managarm does make sense to me, but I just haven't been an op grinder as much as I used to play a lot of op. And it's weird. It's weird how a set came out and I don't like try and build a weird op combo deck like almost immediately. We'll see how that goes. Firing twice is so hard on 2 trash. Arella has a wizard trash cost. Yes, but Arella doesn't let you score the agenda out. Arella just allows you to like do other tempo crimes, which is just like, you're also snowballing. You just also put the agenda in the remote server. I hear you. Arella's also more influence. Isn't she like 4? No, she's only 3. Yeah, she's pretty bad into Hermes, that's for sure. Hey Frank, by the way. Managarm is sick because you can pull it out of nowhere out of server with a Mav. Yeah, 100%. It can be. And, you know, is it better to have an Afron in the slot? Honestly, yeah. I think Afron is really, really worth something. I don't think I've seen op decks playing Hammer, but like the fact that you have Stavka seems still pretty good right now. I can see Afron doing a lot of work. Or it helps you do 4 core in a turn. Hey Kyle, 4 core in a turn? Like on top of a jupe stat? How? Let's give this a shot. Shout out to Jonald. I know I burned him earlier, but really cool. Not having the Staffron combo here is odd to me. So I don't know if we're in peak flip switch. We used to be in peak flip switch for a while. I've no doubt Jonald has played against a couple flip switches for a while. Simulchip is pretty common. Muse is also obviously incredibly common. So it's still pretty good. And it's a pretty good speed bump into like specifically the, you know, the sort of Hoshiko deck. Some of them are only running 1 of breakers, heaven forbid, but 2 of breakers as well. And I think just trashing a breaker, forcing them to find the next breaker of which they don't run simulchips, like that's definitely worth a lot. Changeling, how's it going? Evening. Give it a shot. You're further behind if they Hermes. You after a Holo Man than an Arella score though. I don't think you're further behind if they Hermes from a Holo Man, because a lot of times with Holo Man you have a click left to repair the damage. At least when I like scored out with Holo Man and Ace of Grip, I felt pretty good about it because I can score out like a 4-2 and then still have a click to repair. Like, I hear what you mean. Like, no matter what, Hermes is going to be a problem, is all I'm saying. I would say that Relic can make funny scoring patterns with Stoke the Embers and Remastered Sansan. Yeah, I think we're going to be playing some Epiphany, I think, today. And I think we should try some Arella in it. I just don't know how many agendas we have. Coffee Dripper. Lat. Cool. Hey. Best of luck. Have fun. So I'm not sure how quickly you want to score a Basalt Spire. I imagine not at all. Now, this hand is interesting. We can do like Hedge Fund, Envelope, Atlas in it. And then you can Mavirus for a Managarm on a following turn. This is also not a deck that's running Oaktown. And Oaktown's another like contentious issue potentially, because Oaktown is a great agenda to rush out early and get your first points. And we're not running Oaktown. Now, Oaktown doesn't make a lot of sense with Holo Man, and that's a big reason behind it. But Oaktown's one of the first agendas I love pushing behind a border control or an involvement in the early game. So we're going to work a bit harder for economy because we don't have that many agendas that pay us out. We have a lot more like SEFs and stuff like that. Not against Smurf. That's really funny. Yeah, that seems not as good, but fine. Yeah. I just don't know what to do with this. I haven't played enough op with Basalt Spire. We'll see if we can do something with it. Best of luck. Have fun. I have no idea who that spectator is. Yeah, subtle. Shuffle your deck menacingly. So we should ice up centrals. Sandstone on the remote server is probably fine. Lat wants to match your hand size. So if we can get our hand size low, that like generally forces Coffee to do something a bit stranger. I'm worried about, you know, burners and stuff like that, I guess. And I'm not too worried about R&D pressure on turn 1. Like you probably don't with a single ice just send in a trick shot. So we probably actually end up draw once and be on 5 cards in hand. Okay, that's our next play. Sandstone Regolith. We could res Regolith. It's not great. The other options, we can leave R&D open. There's 8 agendas and 42. I don't want to do that with trick shot and stuff like that. So I think we'll just do this for now. And then next turn we'll push out a Regolith and then just empty that and play a bit slow. It's not me unless. Have you ever seen the 2 in the same room? So Lat wants to match hand size. That's a very interesting trigger at the end of the turn. You can beat it if you have a Spin Doctor on the table. Coalescence. I don't think we're gonna see anything too spicy. We're just gonna see good stuff. Enough Lat, Ace off Pawn Shot, Coalescence. Okay, so that's a good enough start, I reckon. So we can do Sandstone, Regolith, use Regolith. We can res it and use it. If we res it and hit it, we basically click for a credit. We reveal what it is though. Now, if we don't res it, they think that this is Rashida, and they probably attack it pretty aggressively. I'm not sure whether you want to res it or not. Resing it gets us closer to emptying it, which gets us closer to an op trigger, which is nice. The 1-costers in the deck, I believe, are just Tithe and Malapert. We're not running an Ice Wall. I think that's all we have, Malapert and Tithe for the 1-costers, which is still a very good thing that you have some 1-costers in your deck. I'm going to do this. If it gets pinholed, I don't think we're too upset about it. Only slightly upset. I want to touch my hair because there's this piece that's going across and it's separated and it's getting me good. So let's see what the breaker is. Now we're forcing a res. So the Sandstone, unfortunately, is going to be now 5 strength, which means if you drop a Cleaver and run it, it'll be 4 strength. This gets hit by like Trojans. I don't expect like Slap Vandal, but it doesn't do it good. Like it's just gonna, that actually hurt my neck, genuinely. Single step with the Rego doesn't really get you a turn closer to the trash though. It can because we can extract it sooner. It doesn't get us a turn closer, but it gets us literally closer. Like next turn, we're probably not gonna do Regolith, Regolith, Regolith. We're likely to be like Regolith, Regolith, Ice, and then the following turn, Regolith, Regolith, get a swap put in. Right, like put a Malapert, go from there. So we try not to take a turn to just hit 9 off of the Regolith. We want to do like build board state, take 6, build board state, take 6. But we'll see, maybe they'll push for it. It's still going to be expensive, and if they overextend, breaking a Sandstone, and like, at least then we can even extract the Sandstone to get whatever, like, 2-cost Descent we have. But they might just let this go. We're in 4 cards in hand. They're taking the money off us immediately. They're not even waiting for their charge targets. You're not going to get a Dag down? Go see where the pressure is. I don't know if we want to score this. I don't think we want to score this soon. We can't literally afford it. They might be doing math. It looks like they are doing SMC math. They're not going to charge a leave with an ace upside, surely. Well, you don't want an infinite economy? You want 3 credits now? Gyro, you might have seen that. The marshmallow problem, is that what they call it? When they give a kid, like, you want a cookie now? Or do you want 2 cookies later? You're self-reporting. It's super embarrassing. Nah, you good. Thought I could get in? Yeah, they really want that regolith down. And I get it. It's like all our money. It's my money. I want it now. Okay, NV testing. Okay, so now they're going to go slower, get the lily pad, then the coalescence. Okay, so they're bottoming out a bit. But like Shaper economy with environmental testing is so wild. It's like one Muse install from being everything all at once. So take 3, we'll put 2 ice on there. There should be some pressure on centrals. We've drawn through 9 cards, so you're assuming 2 agendas in HQ, just about. And then next turn we can do regolith, install, extract. Hopefully we top deck a 3 too. Rigging of Finance taught me everyone wants the cookie now. Jason, that's very good to know. That's very worrying, but it's very good to know. Yeah, you see the play? It's like Muse into Coalescence, and then suddenly, boom. Oops. It's absurd. I can't believe the Shaper stuff right now. It's so wild to me. Jeff told me it's strictly correct to immediately eat them. All right, so we have access to Simon Chip, which has access to Muse, which has access to everything. It's just like, obviously we haven't forced them to do anything, but fundamentally, it's turn 3 and they have 19 credits. And I meant to score out while they have a Simon Chip. It's, I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do in these board states. Like, border control is still pretty good against this, I guess. So we could do regolith into a 1 coster. It has to be a Malapert. If we put a Mavirus on it, they might run for the Mavirus. We could do Basalt, Mavirus, Extract. And then the Basalt Mavirus means we can haul them in the Basalt, but I don't think we can afford it. If we want to get the 1 coster, we should consider hitting the regolith now or later. It's 19 credits and they have a full set of board. It's turn 3. How am I meant to make them run? Oh man, this is so bad. We extract the sandstone, the regolith is kind of the same. Like, I guess we just do rego, trash for 1 coster, jam Basalt, but we can't score the Basalt out next turn. We can't. And then next, it barely gets anything with Basalt. Like, it might be the line, but scoring on Basalt Spire click first agenda seems really, really bad. I think we might jam the Mavirus. But then if we lose the Mavirus, we're in a pretty bad spot. Like, I think we just draw once, get money. Like, we're not going to draw the Malapert. Like, this is maybe the worst of both worlds. Pull Holo? Yeah, the thing is we could pull Holo over Basalt Spire, but that's where it gets really expensive, right? Like, if we pull Holo Man to score the Basalt Spire, it costs us like 10 credits. Wait, no, that's not right. It cost us 4. We have to res the ice, probably. And then it costs us 4 plus 2 plus 1. Scoring Basalt early is great. Lets you extract all you need for FA everything else with Audacity. So you think I should push Basalt Mavirus and just Holo Man it out? I feel like we'll never financially recover from that. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I haven't played enough of this. Okay. They're on 27 credits. And have access to SMC Simulchip Muse. What do we do? What do? Like, there's actually ice on the server that would be taxing for them. It's probably not this ice. So I think we regolith, Mavirus, Basalt Spire, and then throw a Descent on there, I think. You definitely don't want it for Lat to get fully online. It's turn 4. Like, we barely had time to empty a regolith. I think we will go for it. 1 coster. Yeah, we'll get a Mally. I'll put it in server 1. And hope. How did you let this happen? I'm sorry. Oh, I almost touched my hair. Life comes at you fast. Yep. Unfortunately, this is like known ice, unknown ice. If this is a border control, that's the best case scenario, but they also have a lot of money. So if we do get the Mana Garm, they can deal with it. It's very likely that they'll just eat the Basalt Spire for us. Yep. Okay. Now most of our ice gets broken for credits. Credit? Most of the rice gets broken for credit. Oh. So this is not right, because this is so greedy into border control. I don't think you want to do this, but now we have probably, please no sentry. Well, you have simul chip. Like is the game over? I think the game's over. What can you do about this? So envelopment for 3 credits. Do you have skunk? Yeah, but they have 14 credits and miss bones. So like we can Mavirus for skunk. This is also where like Mavirus to Afron is interesting. We wouldn't score the Basalt Spire, but you know what I mean? Like maybe we can make them spend 5 and then hopefully their economy slows down. We can also just go get a Holo Man and put it somewhere else. But then like where do we put it? This gets broken for 1. This doesn't get broken. This gets broken for 2. This feels terrible. How's it going, Lava, by the way? Okay, maybe we have a window after it. The problem is that this stuff goes down for free, which is not great. So we can return a card to hand. Mavirus, we have more of them in the deck. Managarm is a unique card, so we're going to go for that. We have economy in our hand with Audacity Extract. The good thing now is that the magnet doesn't really matter. In theory, yeah. My lad draw. In theory, they should have stolen the agenda first and not trash the Managarm because they allowed us to get the Managarm back. Huh. So if we had... We purged, that's kind of cool. No, actually it doesn't matter. If we had on the table the Holo Man, we could score this. Oh, yeah, do it up. So they want to bring back like Aesop's pawn shop target, not at all. So because they trashed something this turn, they want to use their simul chip. That would assume that their hand doesn't have enough economy in it to recover. If that's the case, because otherwise they need this to like get a sentry breaker. In terms of the sentries in the deck, we have Winchester, we have 2 Stavkas, and we have the Tithe. So we are not getting a sentry on here anytime soon. Oh, they went for Muse. Yeah, that makes sense. It's free. So you pay 2 for Coalescence, but you get 6 back. That's really rude. So I guess we just push this out. Is there any ice we can get that's actually more taxing on the 2-cost slot? I don't think there is. I think the deck has 1 2-cost ice. And it is the Descent. Yeah. So that's not good. We could maybe go for a Tucana, but if they get this above the law, they're on game point. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it seems good. So I think we just have to ice this up and pretend it's something they can't deal with, like a sentry, and just bluff. If we can take down the pawn shop, that's something. And again, they can't touch the Coalescence turn, but then they're going to start their turn on 14 credits. Okay. All right, never mind. We're done. We're done. Okay. It's turn 6. They can break all ice for literally 2 credits is the most expensive for a piece of ice. I think we concede. I need help. What do you do? No, can't touch. No touching. Yeah, the breaker suite's down. It's turn 6. Our ice doesn't matter anymore. Summon Exodia? I don't... Like, if we jammed the Basalt a turn earlier, do we have it? Touch the hair is the only way. I'm going to try not to. It's going to be sick if we can get through a whole stream. Add Descent to HQ? No. Like, we can force them through this a lot, I guess. Unfortunately, the 1-cost slot is now cooked, right? Like, we have the Tithe on the table. Simply win faster? Yeah. I honestly don't know what to do here. It's turn 6. They break all our ice for 1 credit. We don't have Afron. Like, the most expensive ice we can do is Stavka. They break Stavka for 5. Oh, at least there's a cataloger. Okay, the game will be over this turn. Oh, jeez. I'm honestly like kind of floored. I don't know what this is. How are we meant to win? We just have a bit of ice there, I guess. If we had a border control, we were able to score that thing out. It's still very expensive though. Oh, they're really thinking about it here. So maybe they realize server 1 could be a spin doctor, or they see not agendas. We'd be happy with it being agendas. Oh, no action. I have not seen someone make the play where they think there's a spin doctor table, so they put the agenda in slot 3. The person reses with spin doctor, sees nothing. Oh, they have nothing. Sees nothing. So unfortunately, this Rashid is going to break lock. Well, not break lock, but it's going to make the cataloger better. Oh, no, it does break lock. We can shuffle right here. I think we should shuffle right here. Shaper to shaper things. It's kind of wild. So descent only recurs agendas, which means the managram has to get spin doctor. Excuse me, sorry, I'm disgusting. Back in. So the most expensive we can make R&D is technically like 3 credits. They can let most of this fire, honestly. I burned Iqua to the top and then put it 4 cards down before my opponent instantly conceded. Wait, sorry, Frank? It's all about bluffs now? Yeah, like, they didn't run their remote server there, but like on 5 points, I honestly don't think they have to run their remote server ever with the catalog around the table. Right, like this card puts on so much pressure. I don't know what our line is. We are in a bad spot. We can go search for a 2-coster, which is not good. Force them to run every turn. Yeah, but they don't have to. With the cataloger, they have no reason to run every turn. Like, at most, this is maybe a spin doctor. But all our ice we res for cheaper. Unfortunately, we res all the cheap ice, so we don't actually have really good extract targets. I think we have to do this and then just like click for credit. We could obviously extract the descent into 1-coster, but we have no more 1-costers. Like, it's just a 6 credit econ play, which is like fine. It's just not that we need the credits this turn, I don't think. I feel like all my recent corp games where I ice both central turn 1 I lose, even ice empty remotes seems to be better than keep the runner off tempo. It's like decks like this is why you end up on 25 assets, right? Like, obviously the deck has Miss Bones and maybe even a Parisha, but I don't know. Ice does not feel good right now. It just does not feel good. And there's a lot of centrals pressure. So if we res them a virus and fire it, we can go get a 2-coster. We've seen our 2 descents, so the 2-coster would be it would be bad. It'd be a Tucana. No. I might have extracted the Tithe to put a Rashid in the Mo server. Yeah, that's definitely an option. For the Tithe, for what's worth, the Tithe is technically one of the most expensive cards we have on the table. Or for them to break. Not that they have to break all of it. I think it's probably our best play there. But I don't see how we can get out of this. They threw up 2 more Aesops. So with the one above the lost deal, that makes sense. No. It's like the pinhole is only marginally cheaper than running us. Like the pinhole costs 1 credit. This costs 3 credits. Like, it's not even that great. We probably need to be a bit more aggressive in the early game. I don't think we had it in the early game. And this is the thing that's like, does it come down to that they had the nuts and we didn't? Maybe. But if I cannot have a chance to win the game before turn 5, I'm terrified. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Crap. Like, credit's not a, like, we had to draw. We should have done that sooner. And then we'll just put this on server 1, I guess. You can't really border control descent because you don't have to spend the counter. This is a close to concession without Afron in the deck. Yeah, I agree. We probably should concede this. I just think it'll be over soon enough with the cataloger. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I do agree. Afron is something like blowing up the breakers actually would hurt because they've used, well, admittedly recursion's a bit strong right now, but they've used 1 muse, 1 simul chip, so it'll slow them down. I guess we res this. The fact that they were able to play Turbine from hand is also like pretty good for them. So you don't have to spend 6 on an SMC. It's a bit of a difference. I don't honestly know if you have to break the last subroutine on envelopment. Because if we use our envelopment trigger to take out a border control in R&D, and then I border control, like you still haven't spent the cataloger and I just took cards out of my deck. It's 1 credit for you, but it actually kind of matters. Like I think you'd be happy to let this get trashed. Because the worst case is, do I put a Winchester on R&D? Maybe that's worse for you. I don't know. I don't think so. But it probably won't matter though. There's still like 6 agendas in 27. No, no action. Oh, they just installed another one. Yeah, right. All right, good game. Cool. Cool. You can map shuffle. Yeah, it's not worth anything. I got you. Yeah, that was I think I lost on turn 3. That was awful. That felt really bad. Let's try it again though. I think we had an okay draw. There's obviously like power cards in the op deck, right? Like we had them a virus, that's great. We had an extract, we didn't use it. We had the boarding control. I think any other agenda I would have been confident enough to push a bit sooner. But I think that's mostly it. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, that was wild. Thanks for the game. Yeah, that was I don't know if we had an out there. All right, let's try it again. Okay. All right, Seb, that's probably going to be a bit of a more even matchup. We're going to deck with Netrunner. We've only played 1 game so far. How's it going? Seb, we want to ice up HQ. Thanks, you too. Just so that's if it is a Hot Pursuit deck, and Winchester's what we want on HQ. We have Regolith for the remote server, and we have Tithe. If Seb can find early ice destruction, it's kind of rough for us. Because we don't play high strength ice. Border control gets dealt with Aquaceris crew. Infinite crew appears, I know. Yeah, we'll have a bit more time in this one, maybe. I don't want to get too confident about it. This hand's definitely good. If we can ice up archives, that's great, just to make Praxis a bit clumsy. Envelopment, great. That's a good remote ice. It's hard. You need a Devil Charm to deal with envelopment early. So I think we just do this and click for a credit. We don't really have to get the Spin Doctor on the table. What we've been for the rest of the stream, we got a bunch of news, some actually really exciting news stuff. No ban list just yet. And then we're going to do some Epiphany, I think. I think we've been ban list speculating like every day for the last week, every stream. So I don't think we have too much to add to our ban list speculation. Did London mull? London mulled, okay. This is really ugly because you don't res Winchester, and if you don't res it here, this ice either is a Winchester, we have nothing in hand, or it's a Stavka. So that actually gets you a lot of information. Envelopment, great. UKGE looks so good. I'm excited to buy the double-sided envelopment mats for running. What's on the other side, Lucille? And oh my, I can't believe the play mats at UKGE. They're incredible. So a bit of a spoilers, but apparently the Holo Man is just a playmat you can buy, which was my contender for like the world champion playmat this year would be Holo Man. And I can't believe it's not Holo Man. It's such a perfect playmat as a 1/1. I'm all about fast advance agenda chaining Epiphany. I've never done a super knob. We'll try and do it. I've mostly played like, I haven't played Epiphany since like week 1 of the set, and I had a good time playing it. I think players will get better against that deck because they were not prioritizing trashing Cohort, but we were just playing like Holo Man, fast advance Bologna. Miss Bones and Valentina, okay. So we don't have a lot of money. So I still think we can barely cash this check. Barely. I'm going to res it. I don't expect pinhole. Holo Man would be spooky. It's out. Cat, it looks really good. Liga's going to be there to sign it too. Yeah, I know. I need to get someone to sign it for me. Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't believe Liga's there. It's sick. I don't know if Liga lives in the UK or whether Liga's just there for event stuff. I think Lucille meant 2-player. Oh, double-sided as in, yeah, okay, 2 players on 1 mat. I thought you could flip it. It would be a different mat. From the top rope, Thanos is Stoke. Thanos shared a bunch of like, I wouldn't say memes, but like designs for some of the joke suggestions from Tuesday stream talking about merch, and they're really funny. Okay, so we have 2 options. We can literally bankrupt ourselves running an envelopment, and then Regolith will recover if they're not playing pinhole, and I've never seen a sub deck play pinhole. And if that's the case, HQ will be wide open, which it is what it is. T-shirt ideas. Liga's in Latvia. Yeah, that's what I assumed. So I'm assuming that Liga's visiting, but maybe Liga has moved at some point. Gachapot's an interesting inclusion. Virtuals or programs? Not that many. There's no virtual connections, I don't think, right now. But that's an interesting tell. His deck seems slightly different. So far, Seb hasn't fired once. I guess London's just sending like a hot pursuit. Yeah, okay. It is what it is. That's what we wanted to play around here. Hot pursuit gain 9. Atlas and Emmanuel. Oh, you see 2 here. And the Spin Doctor throws up in mouth. Throws up in mouth. That was good. Cyber Trooper Tellude. Oh, right. Would you say the World Tree and Holo Man are legal? Jaro, nice try. That did get me. It's League of Legends. That was disgusting. Genuinely disgusting. Okay, so we start here. If we put him a virus on the table, we can get a Managarm winning if we need it. They're floating a tag, so we can trash Manuel, but we have to trash a card from hand. Literally, Seb's text being relevant. We probably should trash Manuel. I think we should trash Manuel. How many accesses do we think London's going to get? Because London still needs to clear the tag, and I think we're happy with that idea. I think we just Regolith one more time. I don't think we need to do anything. If we had a bad card in hand, because Seb is not random, it's choice, we would get rid of it. But like London still has to clear that for most of his card text to be relevant. If he sends the Winchester now, like it does have teeth. Yeah, so like still seem bad they have to clear the tag. And so we're hoping for an agenda there. So Regolith will get a 2-coster. There's so many 2-costers we're not worried about drawing. Or sorry, a 1-coster. We'll either get Tithe or Malapert. We want an agenda. I guess we should just get a Regolith this turn. So it can't be the Tithe. It has to be the Malapert. So we should hit this because there's only 1 Malapert in the deck. I guess it's strictly correct to hit this before drawing. So we can put something in there to see, like, if we can make London do something. That's probably fine. Obviously not an agenda. All right, so we see Echelon Buzzsaw Cleaver. Great. I wonder if there's a turbine in this. There might not be. Like, you can just go pretty hard with Aquasaurus Crew, but the most Breaker Suite. All right. So you can install one of those. Cleaver's coming down. Development's still pretty good until the turbine comes down from hand. And I'm pretty sure the turbine might be in this deck. I don't know if you can just rely on Aquasaurus Crew. Mind you, that's the most influence we've seen so far. That's 2 for Nuka. Echelon's 1 somehow. I think we should purge here. I think we do purge. RFG Buzzsaw's interesting. They probably have another in hand. I'm going to purge. I don't want them to have Fermenter. I'm going to go for, I think the Descent makes more sense, but they probably have a Buzzsaw in hand. The other option is to get the Managarm and get it cooking. I think we want to get the most inoffensive card here. It might be Tucana. Will they run through an envelopment and pay 2, 4, 5 just to trash 6? I don't think so. I think this might be okay. Because the next virus will be a Managarm or a Holo Man, whatever we top deck into. But it's hard to play Fermenter against Op. There's just like a lot of incidental purges. It's a Holo Man with a steel chair. Oh, from the top rope? I thought you were making a Seb joke. Oh, God. Yeah, so a lot of the Seb decks are not like running, you know, fundamental playable operation economy or event economy. Mind you, Hot Pursuit is worth playing around, I think. I do think that's why we prioritize the Icing HQ. I think as you could tell, right? Like this was probably one of the ones that cares about programs. So there's a chance London will be a bit more careful because this did look like a Stavka or a Winchester. So losing your Cleaver is probably not a great spot to be in, as much as you can just get it back once we're on threat with Praxis. Stacking 2 envelopments on server 1's okay. Already Praxis, okay. So what are we bringing back? Valentina? Seems fine. Okay. So Hannah's tricky in the matchup too, because if you want to use that and charge the remote server, border control can be a problem. Not that you mind having tags too much, but like I wonder if you just use this for tempo. It's always kind of tricky. to figure out to use Hannah. I've kind of just been in the camp, unless it's an Asabam deck, always just use Hannah. Amanuensis. Okay, cool. So the idea is that you don't think I'm going to trash your stuff. And you might be right. Nah, let's just score. Okay. We should probably extract this envelopment for a board to control and then put another envelopment on it. The other option is we can put the Mavirus in there, which is probably a bit more relevant. It's an Azyef though. Azyef we don't need to get Holo Man. It's just to get the Mana Garm instead. That's tricky whether we want to go Mavirus or envelopment here. Mavirus lets us get Holo Man. That's cool. But I don't think we want to pay 4 credits to score on Azyef. With a click left? No, I don't think we do. I think we just do this. And just ignore like what Seb's going to do. Okay, Hot Pursuit, Aquaceris first we found. So the options here are Fermenter. And mind you, that will come in with 2 tokens. That's kind of cool. With 2 clicks left? Yeah, no, it's with 2 clicks left. But then like, what do? We have to hope we top deck an agenda. Otherwise, it's not a great turn. Maybe that's right, just because then we have what's it called on the table. But we can still do it, right? We can still install Mavirus, use Mavirus, but then we probably won't because Azyef is going to get our op trigger. We actually have nothing good to trash with Azyef, which is going to be super unfortunate. Maybe we shouldn't have trashed the envelopment. Maybe we should have kept the envelopment because Azyef needs a target and trashing the envelopment was probably okay. Yeah, that might have been alright. Like, I don't actually know if we need 16 credits here. Amanuensis is fired. We're not making it hard for Seb to float tags with the 1 card in hand. This is how I play against Seb. I simply ignore him. Yeah, until like Iru comes down. But like having the early Manuel is really good. That's the only pressure card. The only card that we're scared of running. Aquaceris will be annoying, but we haven't seen a Devil Charm yet. We've seen 2 Gachapons, so there's a chance London's not on it. Clicking to draw. Friend of a friend. Take a tag. Yeah, there we go. Friend of a friend taking a tag clause actually seems a lot better when you're going to try and float a tag. Okay, Aquaceris crew is worth trashing. So I'm going to score the Azyef. Okay, hold on. Install the Mavirus. Res it. I need to trash the Aquaceris crew. I don't want to deal with that. Because then R&D is free. And then you see 2 cards. So we need to trash this, which costs us a card from hand. So we can throw out the Extract. The other option is can't score the Azyef if you install the Mav though. On Holo. No, no, we can. If we install the Mavirus, we get Holo Man. We use Holo Man. Holo Man adds 2 counters. You can advance. Yeah, you can do it with Holo Man. The problem is that we can trash Aquaceris crew. Can't you do it? Just don't have the Mav to trash? Yeah. I think we just get ice on R&D and hold. I just don't know what we're trashing. What are we trashing? Probably the Tithe? Yeah, it has to be. So Malapert will get something. I guess we want the Audacity. What else could we want? Like if we had to click here to jam Rashida, that'd be fine. The Audacity is not the most important thing. I think this Toucan is going to stay for a while. So we can get... The Mavirus is getting good into the Fermenters. Whoredom's pretty good. Descent is good. It'll probably bait an Aquaceris. Trash Tithe and put an Envelopment Whoredom on RD seems good. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I just don't know what to grab with this. Like, I don't know if Rashida is our next push. We can't grab an agenda, obviously. Maybe just another Mavirus. I'd appreciate a 3rd Mavirus somehow. Then we'll do Azyef to do the damage. We should have seen this first. DJ Finish on Leech. That seems like good targets. So now I guess we put a Whoredom in R&D. We need Ice Up Archives eventually because there's still going to be... Well, we know there's Leech and then there's 2 more copies of the thing. Praxis. But this Aquaceris crew is now pressuring just the border control. Unless there's additional support. Like, Seb has made 2 runs. It's turn 6. His engine's firing. Like, it's doing all the Seb stuff. And we're not able to trash his stuff. But that's because we're kind of choosing not to. Because I think our game plan is just stronger. But Amanuensis has drawn 4 cards. It's kind of nice. We're assuming that there's a Buzzsaw in hand, considering London chose to RFG this one. But like, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Turbine in here. I don't know. With Gachapon, you can get it. Otherwise, we're looking at like Miss Bones, that's 2, Nuka's 2, Hopper Suit is probably a full set of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 on Echelon. Maybe there is no Turbine. Maybe there's no space for Turbine. So it feels like a Shaper stereotype of just playing by yourself in a sandbox and forgetting there's a Netrunner game going on. There's the Buzzsaw. Okay. Okay. 10 credits. I think if we can get an agenda off the top deck, we're in an okay spot. No tag float. Descent is not great. So do we want to extract any of these cards? We could extract the Malapert for Rashida, which if this draw fails... Okay, no, we're good now. So here we can go for a Holo Man if we really need to. Otherwise, we can go for... Oh, what's it called? A Managarm, which probably is going to be an issue. The issue, though, is like if we crack border control, we can't crack Mavirus, so we might have to preemptively go for the Mavirus. This might actually catch up with us. Because now Magnet on the 3-cost pool is not very good into Buzzsaw, so we have to go for Sandstone and then hope London can't deal with Sandstone. I think London can charge this remote survey. Yeah. Yeah, border control and Mavirus Managarm is tricky in one turn. Okay. There's all Breaker Suite. So there's now Stavka Respect. Echelon 3 is still pretty good into Winchester. It's going to cost you a tag and 3 credits. Is it not better to put the Mav on R&D for HQ so London can't get both in and the agenda one run? Maybe, but then we have to actually ice up 2 things. I think it's maybe reasonable on R&D. On HQ, and might actually attract some heat. I think there's a chance that London's going to be a bit scared of a 7th strength Stavka. But in theory, you can put the Mavirus anywhere. But again, if London runs, we have to like do something with it immediately. All right. Well, this is last click into a border control. If we res the envelopment, if you want to use an Aqua Ceres crew, you break it for 4. Otherwise, you have to break it for a lot. I think we res this. London probably bounces. Is it like 7 to break it? Last click into border control seems suspect. It's an option. Like if it cracks the border control, it cracks the border control. But like London's kind of set up. Like they have all their breakers. It's turn 7. If we... This is where maybe having the Seamless in hand is better than the 3rd Mavirus. Yeah, I could see that. I think we'll do this. It drops us down to 7. That's still enough. Is it enough to res Mavirus for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? We can't really do anything smart with Holo Man. Okay, so that's an Aqua Ceres tag. Now, border control can't get pressured by Aqua Ceres crew because this ability to lower strength is only once per run, which is pretty good for us. Fire all unbroken, so it's going to be trashed. So we get a 4-coster here. Res Mav extracted for money and Holo, proceed. Yeah, but then something's been... Oh, yeah, that's okay. That's actually okay. So do we want another border control or do we want to end the run and get a 3-coster? We put too many eggs in the same server because op is only once per turn. So now we have to use the border control. Yo, everything's falling apart. Play a 4-coster from your deck. No, we can't do that unless we let the border control fire and get nothing. What's the 4-coster from our deck? We only have 1 Hordem. You didn't pop BC when they trashed? Oh my god, yeah, before they fire it. Yeah, 100%. Hey, I goofed this. Yeah, before subs resolve. Yeah, that's a timing window that's super easy to forget. But once they take the Aqua Ceres crew and they break, before the subroutines fire, they have to pass priority back to you, and then you can crack the border control then, which is strictly correct. So they take a tag, then they pay 3, and then before we fire broken subroutines, because they did a paid ability window, we can trash this. And so then it doesn't get trashed because the run ends. And then we can go get a 3-coster here. So Magnet, Afshar, or Sandstone. Sandstone will be the most taxing. We'll put it on server 1, and then that ends the run and keeps that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cold Lava. Thanks for suggesting that. Okay. Above the law. Jonald, we'll have to catch up with the rest of the VOD tomorrow to see how the games went, but it's really cool to be very proud that you're incredibly one-dimensional. I feel so seen. I'm glad you're taking that with a good sense of humor, Donald. Congrats on the deck list of the week. I've been struggling so far, but I would love all your comments in the YouTube feed after, if you don't mind. We had one game so far that's been really bad. So I think we res them a virus. It drops us to 4. We can extract it. Nothing's hit the table. Then we do advance, advance. I think that gets us. Okay, not like that. Res, extract. 2-coster from our deck. Yeah. I got lost in the middle of that somehow. It'll go into server 1. We'll get 3 more credits. Then we'll put counters on this and we'll advance it once more. We'll score it. We're down to 5 credits. Malapur, we just want an economy card in our hand, I'm pretty sure. We just need an econ card. I think we'll take a hedge fund here. Extract is usually the better econ card though. Extracting the sandstone into a 2-coster seems pretty middling, but it is a 6-credit economy play. That's probably a better card than hedge fund on almost all board states. So we'll do that. And then we install and res a piece of ice. I think we want Afshar and HQ. I think R&D is going to hold. It's a tag. And then a credit. That's probably okay for a bit. Otherwise, none of this stuff is particularly taxing. We could put border control in R&D. I'm more worried about Eru. Like if we over ice R&D, Eru gets us. So I'm going to put, I think an Afshar and HQ might be enough. It might get Aquaceres crew, but then the Winchester stands. This is also 1 credit, which is worth something. That might be wrong. How is Holo Man full value? Because we didn't install anything from R&D, from HQ. We installed from R&D only, right? That's a really big thing with Op. And obviously like with Epiphany is that if you install cards not from hand, it works. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, it's why Op is like a very unique home for this. And like now London has to deal with the server. It's going to be pretty expensive. We're going to lose all of it though, unfortunately. No Bisbones on the table, which is great. So this breaks for, well, it depends how you want to take the tag or not. The tag here is worth 4 credits. Like that's the cool thing with Aquaceres in like the sort of vanilla way is that it's fire. Oh, we're farming it. So every click is a click of 2 credits. All right. So we clicked once for 2 credits. Now you have to break all of this. Because if you don't break all of this, we can border control and crack border control. It uses a lot of our stuff, but it means we can score an above the law from hand. What just happened? What? Why did you? Oh, they installed the Valentina. Okay, so they have a click left thinking. So that means, well, this has to fire. We can't stop that from firing. Install a 4-coster from your deck. I guess we might as well. What do we get? Border control Stavka. We almost always do the border control. Where do we want to put it though is the question. Because in theory, we can almost win the game straight from hand. Well, not really. Huh. Because if we put the border control here and crack it, then you just run back for 1 credit. That's not good. So we just put this on server 1. Yeah. All right, so we're going to lose the whole farm. It's fine. We did a lot. Now we're going to see how slow Seb is. We're now at threat to the point that Manuela costs 2 cards. That's definitely annoying. But I do not know how you make cheap runs here. Like, you can Aquaceres plus Buzzsaw to get through Hordem. Malapur might stay for 4 credits. We'd actually be very excited for this to stay. Because we're going to extract this either for a Spin Doctor or we're going to extract this for Rashida. We'll see. A spin and Alice counters any card from archives you want? Yes. Okay. So we can extract Malapur. This only costs 2 credits to run, but it forces some sort of interaction, and we don't really need the Malapur that much. We would love to above the law to trash Aquaceres crew. Mind you, the threat text from Manuel is only from the basic action. Yeah, the basic action. So you can just above the law it from orbit. We still have Managarms. We have border control, so we could do like Mavirus, extract Malapur for Rashida. Ice. We definitely need to extract this. The question is for what? So 0-coster from our deck. We have Rashida, we have a Spin Doctor. Audacity pull the Alice counter. I think we want to use extract before we get rid of our hand. And we want to put the 2 count on the table. So we probably do Spin Doctor in server 1. And then we can Audacity from hand. But as soon as we do that, like it's actually hard to win. Right? Like if maybe this is wrong. It's just like genuinely difficult to win the game. We need the remote server for the last agenda point. So I think we have to put the Mavirus in server 1. The thing is, like, it's only one Audacity, so if we shuffled it, put Mav and FA with Holo next turn. Yeah, that is true. I was gonna put the Mav anyways, just because it can't be Tucana. Well, it could be. Do we put the Tucana in there too? I think we do, and then we like fast advance from hand with Holo Man. No, then we need money. Because this is 3 + 4, it's 7. I'll just take a credit. I don't know. We're at Euro time too. Could I put the Mav on HQ? Oh, the Mav on HQ is way better. Yeah. It's probably a bit safer. I think you're right, Jeff. It's way safer on HQ. Afshar Winchester is going to be difficult. Aquaceris might eat the Afshar because I think that's the only way the deck can deal with it well. You can break it for 3 every time, or you can break it for 1 in a tag once. Or not even 1, just a tag. Sorry, just 2 credits and a tag. I think Tucana might be too expensive for what it does at this point. No, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what ice we can present that's taxing to this rig anymore, right? Like, we've seen 2 envelopments. We have only 1 Hordem. A Hordem would be the best ice for us to get from here. But if we Hordem Archives, would be okay. Yeah, we want above the law and then trash probably the Manuel. Laches Jamura. The whole above, this is above my pay grade. Super not. If you play it on JNet, it helps so much because you don't have to search your whole deck. It's like a really good training ground. Oh, there's a fermenter on the table. Yeah, we put the Mavirus in the worst place possible. We can still put the Holo Man on HQ though, so it's fine. But that means we can't crack this border control, which I think is still correct. No, we're going to lose the whole farm here. So we res the Mavirus, we put the Holo Man on HQ. We spin Doctor back in some cards. I think we have to do this. The Mana Garm doesn't do anything. Crank the BC, just don't op. You all are right. But then they just run back. Oh, yeah, but then we protect it. Yeah, this is not right. Yeah, I gooped that. I think you're right. Yeah. Do you mind? I think we just border control, yeah. But how do we win without... actually, I'm not sure, because how do we win on the remote server? Oh, because we'll have Audacity access. Yeah, that's true. We'll make them spend 2. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay. Very importantly, op is not first time, it's once per turn. I knew that, but I could not come up with a more clever play. So now we can score out an above the law from hand. So we'll put the 2-coster one more time. Pop Mav, no, we have to pop the Spin Doctor. Thank you. Sorry about that. Come on back. Yeah, there's a priority ordering system here. We have to do the Spin Doctor to get the thing in our deck first. All right, this guy goes first. Now we're going to shuffle back in the very important Holo Man. What other card are we going to shuffle back in? I'm assuming it might be the Spin Doctor here. I don't know what else we could possibly want. HQ's ice up pretty well. I think it'll be the Spin Doctor. Yeah, that's probably fine. Then we res the Mavirus. We purge for virus counters. We get the 2-coster from our deck. That was Holo Man. We put that on HQ. Okay. Jai, how's it going? Morning, friendo. We're out here struggling with op. I haven't played op in such a long time, and chat like totally knows what I should be doing. Move Holo Man. Yeah, it's going to go in server 1, unfortunately. It's going to last 1 turn. We did get a purge, which is good. Seamless. That's cool. Okay, so here we push the above the law. And then we win next turn. So we didn't stall from hand. We have exactly 3 credits, which is not enough for Winchester, but we can trash a card here. It's either the Aquaceris crew or the Manuel, and I'm honestly way more scared of Manuel on this board state specifically. With the Aquaceris crew, right, like they can open the Afshar and they can run HQ a couple times, but I think they're definitely going to see 2 cards on HQ. We don't want that to happen. Now with Atlas, we can pull for the Audacity. As long as we have 1 credit, we can score the Atlas from hand. Worst case, eye for an eye, I guess, but I don't think I've actually seen that card. Now, this is pod racing. Kind of overslept. What time is it, Jai? I never know what the time zone difference is. You're like 12 hours or something? Jai, also, what's going on for EMEA fly to EMEA number 3? You're not doing it, I know, but do you know who is or when? I know what you're talking about. It looks like you're absolutely owning. No, it's been a struggle. It's not been great. I've had to do a couple take backs. I don't feel smart. Let me tell you that. So the Ashtar is going to go down. This is why we trashed the Manuel, because this is a very important 1 in 5. Okay. Now another Manuel could come down with this Hot Pursuit, and like the timing on this is so generous. Fire all, so we're not trashing it. We're 1 credit short of resing the Winchester, which they break for a lot of money actually. It would be a tag, though. UTC plus 8 should be 12. Okay. Hot Pursuit, gain 9. Let's see what comes in from hand. Nothing, and the Axe is a descent. Okay. They didn't trash this, which means they probably don't plan to run multiple times. Like if they trash this, I'm assuming they're running a lot. So we might actually hold on HQ. EMA is pushed forward to the 25th. Not sure who's doing it. Okay. 25th of June? Like 3 days before the event? What? Or 25th as in pushed earlier. Like pulled. It was pulled. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Did you have another in hand? Next week, yeah, okay. So the same as like an NPC. Okay. Yeah, above the law beats the text. Sorry. So yeah, now they have to stop us by making sure we never draw or hold a 2-pointer for the rest of the game or trash the Atlas, which I don't think they're, sorry, Audacity. I don't think I have a way to jam the Audacity. They only have 11 cards left in their stack. Like Amanuense has been firing consistently. But again, like Seb is struggling to find a reason to run. You can do it. You have a lot of work to do this turn. You can win. Like we have 3-pointers in the deck. They can win. Right, like this costs them a credit and a tag. If they steal a 3-pointer here, that's not unlikely they win. We could Atlas, but we don't really want to. Because we're only going to pull a non-agenda. Okay, this is good. This is a 1 in 5. Maybe they can Aquasair's Crew now. Maybe they wanted to keep it for the Whoredom. Oh, actually, they can't Aquasair's Crew because it's only once per run or once per turn? Once per turn. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll lose 2. I'll just fire it. I didn't think of the Holo Man different server. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's like... Neither did I. No, I did. I just didn't do it right. Tucana. Okay, you don't want to trash that. You can come back. So now it's a 1 in 4 here. Here we probably pad it and pull the make it a 1 in 5 again. And we just pull the Audacity. All right, we're gonna pad it. Nice, we got it. Cool. In theory, could we Holo Man, credit, install? No, we're short. All right, we barely got there. Squeaky, but that's like the sort of tricks that Op does. Definitely does. Good game. Scoring at 8 points is not super uncommon in a lot of these Op decks. Like, I don't know. I guess you are scoring at Basalt Spire a fair bit more than you're not. I haven't played enough modern like Op. Thanks to the game. These are the tricks of Op. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. A lot of your early pressure does seem to be ice based and like really tricky ice to deal with. My deck is weak to FA, I think. Yeah, that seems like a problem for Seb. Could be good versus other stuff. Yeah, you're not on a real turbine, right? Just a crew. Everyone's very big with getting all the breakers out. Yeah, I think so. Hey, Dolmat, I made an alternative board layout for Jackie. Anyone want to have a look and give me some feedback? What do you mean, Dolmat? An alternate layout? Another privilege access. Yeah, if you practice here and you get a Hannah and you buy yourself 2 more clicks, like that actually does kind of matter on the sport state, let alone if you can privilege access to get Manuel back on the table. Again, there's just a lot of recursion. It's really hard to play around something when it can just come back. Yeah, cool. I would really miss Audacity. I think Audacity is like one of the 3 Wayland cards from FFG that you need to know about. I would say like Audacity, Border Control, and there's a good one in here somewhere. What's the 3rd card that FFG Wayland do you need to know? I don't think anyone have cracked the code for the best op agenda suite yet since Basalt. I like that there's so much disagreement between really good players, right? Like, do you play Oaktown? Do you actually even play Holo Man? Do you just play more seamlesses? And I don't know, it's easy. Mouse to the chat left, zoom on mouse over, lots of little changes. Move the chat to left, zoom on mouse over. Zoom on, what's zoom on mouse over? Dolman, I don't know how you could possibly share that though. Too big to fail? Some versions have too big to fail. I think Lava is playing a too big to fail version. If you can't score it early, you have to score 4 agenda often. It's very hard. Oh, to score the 5-3. How goes after David's? We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. We're gonna do one more. We got bodied really hard in the first game. The second game, we had to like really fight for it. Like we had to do op tricks constantly, which at least that's cool and fun that your ID is super, super relevant in most board states. How are you doing? Atron. What's good? I've hosted my local so people can log in. They are okay going to my site. Oh, neat. Rohit, what do you mean say Rococo maybe? Oh, of cards to know? I don't think so. I think Rococo is relatively neat. Niche. Your call. Like it's, I don't think it's a card. Maybe it's a card you should know about, but like, I don't know. It's more so that you should know that play flip switch or something. I don't know. I don't expect Rococo to be around for much longer. There must be better. It's like, yeah. Border control, audacity. I think there was another one. We're gonna get Kent again? Yeah, probably. I want to touch my hair. I'm not going the whole stream without touching my hair. Okay, this is not a good hand. I don't think Toronto is playing Diversion, but we have to really respect Diversion. And this is the sort of thing where like, I heard from good op players that you can slow down and ice up centrals. I don't know how possible it's going to be against Ken. I'm pretty sure Toronto is on inside job. Luckily, boarding control is really good into inside job. I really ought to just wear a cone on my hands though. I don't like this hand at all. Is it sick? We could do Managarm. No, it's not sick. That seems more reasonable. We've been opening with Regolith, which is the one up in the deck in like every match so far, which is not fast, but feels okay. Now, border control and HQ, I don't love. I think trading a border control for a diversion doesn't feel great. Stavka, we haven't drawn a Stavka yet. Stavka hits into Ken. I don't think Ken has recursion besides play Ashen. So I think we need a, unfortunately, Envelopment HQ. We could Stavka R&D, but I think border control Stavka is our remote server. This is a play that gets like punished relatively easily with some amount of aggression. Luckily, it's like, it's bad into like just diversion HQ turn 1, click 1, because then we res the envelopment, we lose the Rashida. But at least if you like force a border control res, there's not too much punishment. Pinhole would be bad. Create fair class act, sick, okay. Okay, no. Nice, hedge fund's good. 2 ice on HQ matters, we need ice up R&D. Stacking 2 kinds of ice is good. I don't think we need a Stavka just yet, because if there's a boomerang or inside job, it's not a fantastic res. And I think from there, we'll probably just do, we need the Regolith cooking. It might catch a pinhole, considering it's a run event. But we could do Regolith, hedge. I think the border control is okay. If they expend, if he expends a trick to get the Regolith, I don't think we care that much if it's like an inside job. We can always border control to it. I don't think we would. All the agendas are R&D, so I'm going to ice up R&D here. Sandstone is fine. Horton's better for the remote server, and we'll just put this in server 1, see what happens to it. Is that the first Rashida that's fired in these 3 games? No, we got one Rashida in the first game. At a point where it didn't matter. Yeah, this is what was probably going to happen. I don't know what to do about that. Like, do you just put in a virus and say, like, pinhole it? At least it still costs 3 credits, which is something. Last time I played versus Crim, they opened Gamble, Laundry, Class X, so this is fine. I don't know. They got a lot of card draw down there for Criminal. Oh, that seems good. That seems like doable. We do like these. I'm going to put the upgrade first. We don't have a lot of money, but scoring at above the law Tucana gets the Winchester on HQ, and then HQ solved for the whole game. We'll see. What are we trashing here? We probably want to hold for a twinning. I don't think we can afford to. So no Hermes just yet. There is 7 agendas and 38. If we res the Sandstone, we get a bit too poor to res Hortum Tucana score above the law. So I'm going to go let this one go through. Obviously a bit of a risk associated, but 7 and 38 is not terrible. Is it 7 or is it 8? It might be 8 and 38. 8 and 38. Okay. Not the best odds, but sometimes you gotta take a gamble. Play a juicy resource, like a full daily cast. Winchester versus Crim is interesting. Revolver does love to break it. I don't expect to see Revolver. I expect to see Carmen. And Carmen breaks it really poorly. Second run event, so just emptying the hand. Just a lot of money. Tithe is a good top deck. So this costs 6 credits, and then we're on not a lot of money. So you gotta take a sure gamble. I think we do it. We don't have any economy to recover from this. So this might be a bit rich. So above the law, I think we shoot down the Earthrise. Not great. And then we have to get something onto the table. So Winchester HQ is fine. That will cost us, well, down to 1 credit. I feel like we might have overextended. Show myself out. So the thing that we could get here is like tithe, extract tithe, but then we have to res tithe. Like we're probably gonna get hammered on R&D. I feel like we might have went too fast and loose here. This is where like the regolith is a huge difference, because now our economy recoveries are like very, very, very limited. We cannot. Well, we could like credit extract, but this is not a board to extract on. We'd probably end up extracting the Tucana, which is a bummer that we drew the tithe. At least that was the ice we would get with extract the Tucana. Oh no, sorry, we get a 0 coster. Just all the card draw. 1 turn later. Oh man, maybe we should have helped. But variation to regolith, it's a 1 mana garment's out. Sorry, regolith and it's out. That's a bummer. Maybe we should have held it. Like, okay, throwing out an Ashen. I think the deck might be on 2. We have to remember that Stavka is something to be scared of. I think we can maybe do this and see what happens. Now for the charge of 20, I'm thinking it's actually on prepaid voice pad. I don't know if it's on Chesva. It might be on both. It's very likely to be on prepaid. Maybe even companions. Like Mystic's great. Okay. I don't think we can afford to res this. That's fine. Like I think we have to top deck a hedge fund or an extract. So being on 3 credits is fine. Regular is such a load bearing card. It's pretty good. This feels evil. What are you gonna do? Trash my ice? I'm gonna do it up. Or is it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that is evil. That's pretty good. All right. So we're playing Reprise. I feel like that's gonna be a problem for us. This is pretty reasonable. This is not too bad. You can play like so many reprises now with all the recursion in the game. The question is, what do we Mavirus for? Probably not 1 damage. But if we res the Mavirus, we can go get a 2-coster from our deck. Our 2-coster can't be the regolith, so it probably is just a Descent. The Descent is decent. We can get a Holo Man on HQ. That's like obviously a bit better, or like a bit more obviously good. Yeah, let's do that. See what happens. They'll probably take a pinhole down sooner than later. Managarm to tax them. Kato, how's it going? I don't think it's great because they can just not pay. They don't have a real good reason to pay. If they do, like Tron maybe pays 5 and then 3 and then I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. It is definitely a tax. You're good there, bud. Yeah, I don't know. Are we cooked? Oh, almost did it. I think financially we might be in a bad spot. I think we paid too much for the above the law. Maybe we shouldn't have done the Tucana. Because we can res none of our ice. Go R&D. Oh, love it. Get out. I was supposed to be building Arkham decks tonight. I was watching a stream instead. I worked on Netrunner content. Oh, while I was watching? What were you meant to be building? Okay, there it is. I got here late. What's the bit with the hair? So I touch my hair all the time on stream and like constantly. I'm just like standing there and I said I would not touch my hair today just to see if I can do it. And it's genuinely been very difficult. How many dirty laundries are out? 2. So icing up archives is good against pinhole, but that's mostly it. I am going to put this on archives and click for 2 credits. Now, we could use the tithe to put in front of server 1 to play around an inside job, of which we've seen none so far. Not that there's been like great inside job spots, like Reprise seemed to be better than inside job. But I do not feel like we're in control. Okay, it's Chesva. I don't exactly know. I want to do 2 cool Blessed Curse decks and not step on each other's toes and not Patrice. Oh, for the set, yeah. I haven't played Kohaku. Kohaku looks really fun and kind of what you want to do. Sandstone Res to kill the laundry felt bad for which player? Because kind of for us too. It felt bad for both players. No, you get there. Like, install click 3? I don't know what we're doing here. It's cool. You can blame the struggle for not touch your hair while struggling with op. This is everyone's problem and mine. Yikes. I've really enjoyed Kako. He has so many options. Yeah, he's one of the few investigators from the new set I haven't tried yet. But I really enjoyed alternate Jim Culver. Way more than I thought I would. As much as I don't think the deck building's like pretty wide. Stopka seems really good into the matchup. I kind of want to keep it, but like the deck's on 2 Ashens. Can we go fast enough to capitalize on the fact that there's no breaker for a minute? I don't think so. Zoe's really good. Alternate Zoe's also really good. Parallel Wendy's a bit more fiddly than I think you'd want, maybe. But alternate Zoe and normal Zoe are very good. Alternate Zoe's fantastic for blessed stuff. Really, really fun. Just finished the playthrough, return to TFA as Wilson. He really just works. Wilson is... A bunch of them have like those old names from old Arkham that like blend together, like Wilson, Richards, and Kevin Hargrave, and other names I'm making up. What is this run? Oh, it's a Carpe Diem? Oh, to get the strength down. Yeah, cool. Very cool. The new Guardian with the tools. Oh, I really don't like Wilson. Did you play, what's it called, ever? Ad hoc. How often did ad hoc come down? Touch your hair, do it. You want to work at Z-Bag? You're a bad influence. I've got this far. Things aren't going well on the table? You think I want that sweet, sweet, easy release of touching my own damn hair? No, we're going to suffer together while we click for credits. Because we've overextended. Admittedly, we haven't drawn an econ card since that, like, a bit of overextension. So I don't know if we feel bad about it. Like, obviously we'd be playing faster, and that's kind of a good thing to do. Let's hope this engenders interaction. Yeah, things seem to be bad, Daria. Still in the new Arkham waiting room. Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, what do you mean, actually? Why can't you touch your hair? Ian, because I do it all the time. I'm glad that people don't realize I do it all the time, because it annoys the heck out of me. But I'm constantly touching my hair. And so I thought maybe we could try without it. And then I picked a really warm day. Okay. Do we concede? I just don't feel like we're making decisions that matter. There's no big reason. Well, if we res the Hortum doesn't get bounced. That's like a cool thing to go on. Oh, still no stock in New Zealand. Did you try wearing a hat? I'm not a hat indoors kind of guy. Like, if you want to wear a hat indoors, do it. But, it's not a horse race. Who am I offending by saying this comment? You have hair, don't waste. Not touching it, would be great. Ian, how often do you touch your head? Because I feel like if I didn't have hair, I would be like constantly been polishing that orb. Oh, I technically touched my hair, but not in a meaningful way. I touched the back of my head. That's acceptable. You made me comfortable with the idea. I'm thinking, I don't... Like, what gets bounced here? It's probably the envelopment. Because I think he inside jobs HQ, so I think we don't have to res this. Not a relatable problem. All that fuck. All the time, hell yeah. I don't think we wanted to purge here. There's no 2-coster that actually was worth something. Actually, no, we would. We could have purged here. Why was I worried about Hermes on that run for some reason? We could have purged here. What could we have gotten? We could have got a Descent. That actually would have been good. A Descent is something. At this point, he has his breakers, right? Yeah, we probably should have purged. Nah, Resident, it's fine. Oh, we do, but it's part of our character, like an idle animation. It's definitely my idle animation, Kato. I'm just like, just going. At least it purged the sandstone, sort of, kind of. Like, you know those games in Netrunner where like your opponent's in a bad spot and they can't actually make any meaningful decisions? This is definitely one of them. I think trashing Rashida there might not be correct. It might not be correct. Because, like, what are we going to do with Rashida? I don't know. I'm assuming Tron has another Ashen in hand. And so if we blow out the breaker, there's a chance that he Ashens and the Croupier is removed from game. If that's the case, we can win the game eventually. Oh, it's a boomerang. Okay, so we can not never res the Stavka, but almost never res the Stavka. Did you put anything other than ice in the deck? Avatar, how's it going? It's the deck list of the week. There's actually a bunch of other stuff in it. We just don't want to let him farm barriers. Pinhole and Regolith was kind of backbreaking. Yep. Yeah, it was. It was backbreaking. Pinhole and Regolith cost us all the money we needed to play the rest of the game. This is a buy-bands run? Oh, I didn't notice that. Carmen's down? Okay. Now, Carmen breaks Winchester for 5. Like, it's still pretty expensive, but, like, eventually with Debbie, it becomes really cheap. Twinning. Access 2 additional cards. How many twinning counters does he have? Okay. I was going to say, like, here you want to sweep HQ, because there's been many, many turns we've scored out nothing. Funny enough, all the cards are in R&D, it turns out. But, Regolith good? Yeah. Turns out Regolith is somehow good. I don't want this game to happen anymore. It's not my hair. It's not my hair. I'm gonna ask to leave. Hey, do you mind if I throw the towel in on this one? Just 3 turns late, this extract? Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, we're cooked. That was bad. We lost to Regolith and it felt like we lost everything. Now, please, if you're watching this in the VOD and you want to give me feedback on like what to do, a good game. Thanks, a game. Let me know what we could have done wrong there. I haven't played enough op, but like I want the YouTube comment space to be a space to like share some sort of feedback. So if you watch Andre like lose to something really bad, but then you see like, oh, this didn't have to be that way. 70 credits to 26. 70 credits to 26. Just let me know. So we can talk about it, because I don't know. I don't exactly remember the early game. I know we made a bit of a bet on the Regolith sticking, and it didn't, because there was a pinhole. And we got to assume there's 2 pinholes in Ken. Why are we conceding before a decoder comes down? I don't know. I think it's because I'm not enjoying myself. I think Rising Sansa was a mistake. I was already so rich to 5 credit up Dirty was big. I had no economy. It wasn't great, but I had no econ or anything to do. So it makes me feel like I have agency. You think you're not enjoying yourself is a great reason? Well, like, Jeff, he has 5 cards in the stack and a loaded twinning, right? Like, he has the decoder. He has 5 cards left. Like, one Nuka draw hits it with Class Act. And let alone he knows the bottom, like, 5 cards of his deck. He did shuffle, actually, so maybe he doesn't exactly know it. But, like, the decoder's coming down next turn. Yeah, decoder's in hand. I've drawn through my whole deck. Yeah, exactly. I hear you. I think just draw more. You can throw out that ice stick for econ. Yeah, I think Lava, there's like one of the things we probably should have done is instead of just clicking for credits miserably, is we probably should understand that clicking for credits costs us the game. Like there's no way we win by clicking for credits. So maybe we just have to do draw and hope we draw an extract or spin doctor or Rashida that's not going to stick. Like that's probably better, because clicking for credits, obviously we do not win that game against this Ken deck that has like, you know, 3 credits per turn from prepaid Debbie and then like everything else dripping away. Like our click for 3 credits versus this board state is just hilariously mismatched. Reprise was a huge deal. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't a gen in the mode server, Tron. I think it would be worse. It's obviously very, very bad. Like we lose the install, the res, like it lost us a lot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a huge deal. It was a huge deal. That being said, if we had the boring control on the remote server, I think we're still cooked, but it definitely didn't help, and it didn't help a lot. Oh man, I forgot Reprise as a card. It's definitely going to be the one that when it hits you, you're going to remember it from then on. Yeah, it definitely wasn't good for us, but I was worried you were going to like window of opportunity Winchester and then like E shutdown or something when you said like this is not going to be nice. I think you thought we also had an agenda in the remote server, which yeah, then it was really, really bad, that Reprise. I think maybe purging also with a virus would have done something. I just don't know what we get. Like we probably get a descent, and just because you have no code gate. Anywho, yeah, definitely got to play a bunch more op to figure it out a bit more. But I feel like we're at the whims of the draw more than much else. Sorry, it feels to me okay. This is going to anger some maybe, because obviously I don't seem as keyed into the play lines maybe as others. But it felt like we were much more draw dependent to do cool stuff than some other IDs. Descent seems met with nothing in HQ. Oh no, yeah, but hopefully we top deck something and push into it, like a Rashida or whatever. Just say like it forces you to get another boomerang or inside job, which you're gonna have at this point in the game. It's the best I have. Like I might as well pay 3 credits to get something, I think, because like installing and resing a descent costs a minimum of 3 credits. Yeah, it's weird. Thanks for the game, man. All right, we got a lot of news actually, a whole bunch of news. Some of it's really, really fascinating. I have a sheet up. Okay, firstly, NPC Providence is coming up. It's next week. It is not in Boston technically, but it's like 45 minutes away from Boston. It's the same place that I think the Continentals, one of the East Coast Continentals is happening. Who's organizing that? I know very little about. Oh, Kyle, it's up. Hell yeah, hold on. What's the date of this? Okay, 7/20, 7/21. Sick. Okay, come tussle in Toronto at the East Coast Canadian National Championship. Sorry, NPC, we'll come back. Actually, no, we'll finish the NPC bit, then we'll get back to this. This is coming up really soon. Pat and I, we just booked a hotel. We'll be there. There's a lot of nice people coming in from all over, which is fantastic. So I'm super stoked. Not Again is organizing both of them. Okay. This guy with Providence in Norton, Massachusetts. So it's coming up. I'm stoked. A lot of people are going to be coming in for it. Nice folks behind the scene are trying to organize some sort of stream. So like Jeff and Kato and Eric from Neon Static are working on some sort of stream. So it will be televised. Also, that date there will be the flight to EMEA number 3, which is I think time zoned for folks in APAC, if I'm not mistaken. So there's gonna be a lot of good stuff on Saturday if you're not traveling or playing to watch, which is fantastic. And then Boston Continentals should be coming up. When is Boston Continentals? I don't know. Now Canada, there is 2 Canadian nationals, one in Calgary, one east in Toronto. So if you're around my area, Toronto is definitely accessible. If you're in the Boston area, Toronto's probably a bit farther than I think it is, but it's fantastic. 7/20, 7/21. I do believe the Suburban Wasteland tournament is like a week earlier, so that's also very cool. I think it's a week earlier. I think it's like 7/13, but I'm really excited for this. Again, we've seen the kit before, Joyride, Wall to Wall, and then an Asmompula playmat, and that's fantastic. Where is it going to be? Church of St. Mary Magdalene. Is that a church? That's kind of wild. NA Continentals in 3 weeks. NA Continentals is very, very soon. It's in June 1st. Yeah. Open the ABR for some sick info on like the upcoming Sunday event. Toronto's a short plane ride, but a good 7 hours from East Coast generally. Yeah, that's what I thought. For me, Toronto's like 5.5 hours away by drive, and then Boston's like 6 hours away from drive. So I'm kind of, it's like a triangle. So I think the other side of the triangle is slightly longer. What was I trying to open? Not again? What am I doing? Where am I? 5:25. It should be here. NPC Boston. Suburban Wasteland is August 17th. Okay, sick. So it's all like the same basic weekend. August. Oh, August, not July. August. Oh. Okay, cool. I thought it was July, Z-Bag. Cool. All right. Keep that in mind. NPC Boston will be using the new main list. They'll be announced, we assume, tomorrow. Get all your beans in Beantown. $25 paid out in the form of store credit for the top players. The entry fee for the standard main event will be $25. Entry fee to be paid at the door. There's no pre-registration. Not Again is somehow confident this won't sell out, which I think is definitely a brave thing. A $5 entry fee for side events, which will be converted to store credit. The store is called, I forgot the name of the store. There's Battleground Games and Hobbies. I think there's a couple of them. So just make sure you're coming to the one in Mansfield Avenue in Norton. It's on like the edge of a lake. Snare him, tag him, bag him, core him, knife him. The side entry has rotated cards. You're allowed to play one playset of a rotated card in your deck that was not on the ban list when it rotated. Rotated IDs are allowed. So there's a lot of interesting combinations for things you want to play. We're going to see some DLR for sure. Art for an NPC SF. Oh, can I open that in Discord? No, I can't really. Maybe I can. Hold on. We'll see. Crap. I can't open that exactly, Changeling. We'll be able to open up in the near future. Yeah. For more information, hit up all this stuff. If you have questions, you can find Daria around. Stoked for this event. There's gonna be a lot of people coming in. Axu? Axu? What? Axu lives pretty far away. Axu, you coming in? Patrick Scorby Sklar is gonna be there. We're driving down together. It's pretty fun. What's Axu's name doing there? Is Axu flying? That's incredible. Last thing about NPC Montreal. We'll be able to confirm the date. It's an art and design GLC. Okay, Changeling, I'll check it out. Thank you. Swimming. You should mark going. I almost never do, but yeah, I should for sure. NPC Montreal. I talked to the store I sat down with the store folks. Shout out to Chris and Adam from Silver Goblin, the store that we definitely want to do it because Silver Goblin's the best. Firstly, Montreal has like so many. I think it might be the most game stores per capita in Canada. Like no joke. Maybe there's a higher one that has like 7 people living in the city and there's one game store because then you probably win. But Montreal is just apparently really goofy for how many game stores it has. Anyways, Silver Goblin's the best. And we ran Canadian Nationals there last year and it was a massive success, both for Silver Goblin, who are just so enamored with like Netrunner and the Netrunner community because it's really, really great. And then on top of it, it's just kind of the most fantastic space. It's like right downtown by Place des Arts. It's a open space. It's super accessible. It's kind of great. So we found out one weekend in the summer in which Silver Goblin was accessible. We got a date. They're just spending a week to double check to make sure that date works for them. And then we'll confirm it next week on Wednesday. So that means on next Thursday, we should be able to tell you what date, if you want to come down to Montreal it's going to be, it looks like August. I don't think early September actually ended up working out. I cannot recommend it enough. We want to say as early as possible. So if you want to make any sort of travel plans to be around in August to come play some fantastic Netrunner in Montreal, you can do it. If you have any questions, we're going to put out some videos to help support and stuff like that. We have some cool prize support in the works too. A lot of really cool stuff. It's not a nationals, it's an NPC, which is technically a casual tier event, but we're going to make the best out of it. Have a 2-day event, just like we did Can Nats, a very similar vibe, a very similar time of year. So I am absolutely stoked about that. We'll let you know as soon as we can. Starting considering applying for a remote Oracle for EC Nats. You can remote Oracle? I think there's some quick click tokens for top 4. Oh, Ken, how's it going at this Boston, huh? Huh? I actually signed up to boost attendance. Okay, great. Now, last thing to say, and this is actually kind of wild. Super, super cool. I just want to make sure that I'm reading this right. So EMEA 2024 is in Bergamo. I think you pronounce it more like that. Bergamo. And on emphasis on the first. And this is the in-person Continentals this year. It's the end of June. Now, I was talking to Etienne, she's setting up a stream to do a live stream. I think it's her first time doing it, so she definitely needs a bit of support, and it's working out. It seems to be going. She's putting some good effort into it, but they're looking for commentary, local commentary at Bergamo. So if you're going to Bergamo and you're not playing and you want to do some commentary, hit up Etienne and the organizers because they're definitely looking for you. But very specifically to sweeten that deal, which I thought this was really, really cool. Let me just make sure I'm reading her message accurately. Give me 1 second to find it. Where is it? It's here. So in short, hold on. That if someone is willing to come to do commentary, they will offer a free place to stay from the 26th of June to the 2nd of July. So if you're just in the area and you can make your way down to the north of Italy, which is a fantastic place, go pop into Slovenia. Slovenia is really nice. They can set you up to stay for free. Because it turns out they actually ended up renting a flat space for all the Fly to EMEA folks. So for the, Fly to EMEA initiative that they've been running for a while now, one of the ways that they're going to help support people to get to Bergamo to play in the Continentals is they have a space that is now a Netrunner house and they have room for you there. So if you're considering maybe like, wait, I would go to Italy. I just like it's cost and this. If you want to come and you want to commentate, the stay is free, which is kind of incredible. That's really, really, really super cool. So if you're in the area and you don't want to play and you want to commentate, that is an option for you. And I think it's absolutely, European Mansion Runner, it's basically that. Yeah. I'm getting to go to AMA and I'm super hyped. Wait, you're going to EMEA Tron? Oh, that's amazing. Some body cam earpiece Oracle Gaming. Now that's a savings. Yeah, that's incredible. So check that out if you're interested in too. I think the whole initiative Flight EMEA is fantastic. Shout out to always run together as well. But yeah, that is coming up. And mind you, the last Flight EMEA is coming up next week. I think they see some of the other prize support stuff. So there's like the t-shirts that are going to be available at EMEA 2024, the chibi like runners from the cycle, the last cycle and set, which is really, really cool. So there's a lot of really good stuff going on behind the scenes there. Stoked to see it. Cool. Anyways, that's that. I think, is there one last news piece? We talked about Jeff's video at the top. I think that's phenomenal. If you want to maybe go earlier into the video to talk about how we think that's really important. And I think that's mostly it. It's 11 o'clock. Man, Tuesday streams are so much longer. We have more time to do stuff and deck build, which I wanted to do deck building today. So I think I'm just going to pick up an old deck and go from there because I don't know if we have time to build something really new. Maybe we'll change it a bit. But what I wanted to do is basically look at Epiphany, because Epiphany is seeing no competitive play, which is not entirely surprising. I think Epiphany is meant to be something that replaces NEH in the near future, or I don't know if R+ is going to be around forever. But the idea is that it is another asset-based deck, which seems to be a third in line for asset-based NBN decks. Now, we haven't seen a lot of it, and there's a lot of cards in the set that were like very, very clearly Epiphany support, and they haven't really popped off. So I want to show you a deck that I've been playing when the set recently came out. I haven't played in a long time, and I want to see how good it is, how it lines up to other stuff, and how it feels playing this out. And so this is Epiphany. For those who don't know, 4515, so standard deck building. And it says the first time each turn the runner steals or trashes a corp card, place a power counter on this identity. And you can spend a click to use a power counter to look at the top 3 cards of R&D, and you may install one of those cards. Now, of course, it's only install. You're not playing any operations, but that means you can install cards straight from not going to HQ. And so there's 2 big cards in the set that care about that. Stoke the Embers, which is a bit of a hard card to parse. It gives you a bit of money back. It technically is free to score out. And sometimes you score this out with a click left over, which is kind of nice when you can get it from the top rope. And then it gets an extra advancement counter when it's left over, when you score this thing. When you score this thing, you get an advancement counter. And that can be interesting, as much as it's kind of awkward to use one advancement counter, unless you can do a combo and you can score multiple agendas in the same thing, which I think we'll slightly try more to do in this deck, but I'm not sure how much we can move the shell around. Otherwise, we're playing Remastered Edition, just because it is a fun 4-2 that gives you that advancement counter so you can fast advance. And this deck is also running 3 Bologna because it's an NBN deck. We can actually fast advance NBN out with Epiphany and Holo Man. It is technically possible, I think, but you need support of a Remastered Edition token. I think this deck is actually a pretty good home for a one-of copy of the Mandate, because with the Mandate, you can clicklessly play Restore, and with Restore, you can bring back agendas from the bin, or with the Holo Man, you can install it, and that was a big idea with this deck, is Restore doesn't install cards from HQ, so it turns on all the text on Holo Man. You didn't install a card from HQ if you either restore an agenda or you restore the Holo Man himself. Very importantly, too, this deck is a Cohort Guidance Program deck. I played this deck when the set was new, and Cohort Guidance wasn't well respected. At this point in time, people understand how to play around it a bit more, which is run archives. But if we have multiple cohorts on the table, that means we actually get cards into the bin at start of turn trigger, which means we can restore immediately and set up some wild fast advance stuff without having to put agendas on the table. Again, you can always use this to put advancements on things, which is really good. And we're just playing like, the sort of asset spam economy package. We're on Regolith. It's fine. It's Regolith. We need a modicum of money because it turns out some stuff are pretty expensive. We have some big ice. We're on Starlit Night as some inherent tag punishment. We're technically not on Oppo. Not that it's very obvious, but we have no tag punishment, and we're just running the good ice. So 3 ping. It's fine. It's annoying for them. Mest and Chesto is a really good ice, and we get those extra advancement counters every once in a while. And then of course we have VSA, which is VSA is just a great code game. Hey, getting here a little late. What's good? Janktivist, how's it going? We're trying some Epiphany. I haven't played this deck in a really long time since it came out, like in March, I guess. This is a copy, so not even the original version. And I want to see how it stacks up. I think we should play 1 copy of the Mandate, just because it allows us to restore clicklessly, which can mean we can actually fast advance out Bolognas with a bit of support, as much as it is expensive. It doesn't matter if you win the game. I think that's mostly it. Now, I think you can build some weird stuff with Arella, that you can score on multiple things in a turn. I think that's really difficult to set up, just inherently very difficult to set up, because you need Stoke the Embers to fire, you need a Relic to fire, you probably need Sands, and that's probably a structurally very, very different deck. And I think it can be interesting. I just don't know how robust it's going to be. And you're probably better off 4 points in 1 turn. Yeah, 4 points in 1 turn is definitely possible. So the idea is that you Stoke the Embers, you get this onto the table clicklessly, then you Holo Man it, so then it has 4 advancements on it. So that you've spent 2 clicks so far, then you score it, and then you get another advancement on something. So then you can first get down. Yeah, so if you run a 3-2, Holo Man, Stoke the Embers, you can actually score out 4 points in a single turn. And it's not that bad. You also need what's it called? An Arella Salvatore. Because Arella can fire before this fires. So the Relic card can be a target for the second advancement, and then you can spend your 3rd click to get the 3rd advancement. It's convoluted, it's possible, but it's convoluted for sure. We're on Vlad Grid, mind you, which like gives you a bit of flexibility too. The runner just has to trash this for 4, which is like annoying enough, and you don't res it until it actually does something. And even just install advance in a naked remote server, a lot of times looks more like an NGO front than a Vlad Grid, as much as NGO front in a horizontal deck is kind of nonsense. Yeah, it sticks a bit and it forces them to interact with you slightly. And if they do, that's good, right? Like maybe this deck actually needs to play more things like balanced coverage or federal fundraising to engender interaction. And I think that might be a thing that when it's Cohort, people didn't want to trash it because it turns on Epiphany. As much as I don't think turning on Epiphany is actually like that big of a thing to play around. JM, any tag punishment? Inherently no, besides Starlit Night, which is pretty good ice when they're tagged. And of course, Predicted Planogram, which is also quite fine. I don't know if we have slots for tag punishment. We could, but it's hard to play tag punishment when we don't inherently have ways to tag on our own means. Let's give it a shot though. It's been a while since I played this. I really enjoyed this when I played it, but I do think it more relied on people not knowing what to do around it than it was the brute force of the deck itself. And it's obviously way less strong than the other NBN options. Immediately gets paired against Lou. Yep. Yeah, no, there's definitely going to be some really, really bad matchups for sure. New corp deck. Cohort, combo, Epiphany. But I think that's a really hard thing, right? Like with the Lou deck inherently, it's like, I do not know how you build a deck that's robust to that, right? Like Lou is the ultimate stomper of, obviously to some extent, assets, and not even that hard into assets. Like assets are good, but not like the best matchup. Like you can get assets around Lou. I don't know. Irrelevant sense and make it possible in different ways. EA the Embers, AA score, a relative remaster, and you have another remaster counter. That's gravy. Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to build into it. You think you do need Sansan? Yeah, you need a Rela and Sansan. And that's the thing, is like a Rela and Sansan sometimes do stick. Like it is a lot of money. Old Lava, if you just joined a game against an opponent just called Oppo. I don't know if it's a Smurf or not. I wonder what they're going to be playing. Just hope people forget about Lou. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Again, we're expecting a new ban list as of tomorrow that can shake stuff up. I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do, Mason Jarkim, is I'm going to make a short video recapping the ban list. I think there's a lot of Netrunner players that are not as plugged into nullsignal.games website as I am. And then having, you know, a recap on this channel, just to be like, here's a 15-minute talking about the new ban list, just so you know. Thanks, you too. Might be worth something. I just closed the tab. No, I didn't. This hand's not amazing. Pudma is going to be running R&D. Just about every ice in our opening hand is good on R&D that we draw into. I think Mess and Chesto is pretty good on R&D, but I don't like the rest of this hand. That seems better. Oh, we do have federal fundraising. Of course we do. Oh, what do you swap for the mandate? Oh, crap. I forgot about that. We were definitely meant to do the mandate. What will we swap? We would swap one copy of Planogram. Business as usual, my Vladdy Epiphany deck is much as fun. I think business as usual, I haven't played yet. And there's a whole bunch of decks where it's actually quite fascinating in. But I haven't played it yet. Is VSA going to be annoying enough? I think it is. I don't want to res any of these other ice. This ice we can res on turn one. I don't really want to res any of the other stuff. And like, I don't love a ping on R&D because they can always bounce it if they think the Pudma ability is better than anything else. Business as usual had allowed me to fun tricks the Holo Man Mirror Morph and help Sportsman. Oh, yo, Holo Man's a really good Mirror Morph target. That's kind of cool. So they can trash one card here, Dirty Laundry. They're going to check HQ. Okay, not respecting Bologna. Just getting access, getting some information, Mess and Chesto. Okay. You can't trash anything there. They put them to the daily cast immediately. You can do that last click for sure. You don't need to get that down immediately. So we'll do the federal fundraising. That's going to be great. Political, not iced. So we can look at 3, which means Epiphany. We're ready to go. So Holo Man, Stoke the Embers, restore. Wait a second. How quickly? I think last time we played Epiphany on this channel, we were like scoring out by like turn 5, and it seemed really, 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 really strong. So we can draw one of these and we can bottom one of these. So Stoke the Embers will be behind a VSA, which is not great. I think we want to draw the Stoke the Embers. And I think we want to draw the Holo Man and just put it on the table. Because then we can do Stoke the Embers for the top rope. So I think we'll put Stoke the Embers on the bottom. Then we'll do Holo Man restore. And then we'll draw 2 of them. And then we'll keep the Stoke the Embers on the top. So that next turn, if they trash something, we can do, which they'll probably trash this, we can do Holo Man off the top rope and go from there. So we'll do new remote. We'll put another ice on R&D just to get an end the run there. I think Mess and Chesto is like respectable. Ping is cheaper. And then we'll res and hit this once. So this means that they'll probably trash something because you can do batch trashing. And against Epiphany, it's only first time per turn. So a lot of times you don't want to trash one thing a turn, you want to trash 2 things a turn. So let's see what they do here. We haven't seen a reason to play Pudma yet. We're obviously assuming there's charge targets. As simple as Nuka. Stone Ship as well. Not trashing anything. So we can't do our thing. That being said, we can just put the agenda on the table and res and move Holo Man after. So maybe we do Mess and Chess on their remote server. They threw out a Cataloger and an Orca. So it looks like they're a Spark deck. I'm assuming most Pudma decks, if they're not on like Melange, they are Spark decks. Top 3 cards of R&D. So Stoke, Cohort, Remastered. Okay, so we're floating up a bit. So I think we'll put Remastered down. We'll draw Cohort, Stoke. Done. Draw. This is a Retrieval Run? You think it's Retrieval Run? I guess if they threw it out, it has to be Retrieval Run. Then do we ice up Archives? That's kind of cool. So we can install Stoke. Oh, we never want to draw Stoke. We probably should have not drawn Stoke. I just don't think they're ever going to trash anything. Why draw Stoke instead of Remastered? You know, Spark, you're totally right. I immediately regretted it. That being said, we can discard it and restore it back, but that's obviously pretty fiddly. I think we will do that, though. Do we ice Archives against Retrieval Run? We're not that bad to retrieval run Orca. Right? Like the retrieval run Orca, they break 1 ice in our deck. And that's a VSA. It is retrieval run. I don't think we care that the Orca comes down that soon. I think Archives is fine due to Cohort. Yeah, it's not the worst. But now the Orca will break all Starlit Knights, even if they go tag me. I don't think we mind. Cohort trash into restore is kind of goated. Yeah, it's a really fun line. I think that's how we're going to do it. We don't have a good place for the other advancement. Okay, Cataloger, that's fine. 3 charges with the rigging up. Sick. Synergy. They know, we know the top deck. Okay, they're trashing a card here. And it's going to be that card. So that means we're drawing an agenda. So res the Cohort, start a turn. This is what we do, right? We mandatory draw. We trash the Stoke the Embers. So we draw on our agenda. We have a remastered. So this is the combo line, right? We res the Holo Man. We could, in theory, Epiphany and hope that we get one off the top deck, but I don't think we're going to do. We're going to restore this into server 3. Reveal this agenda, place an advancement on it. Yes. So then we have to Holo Man it. And before we score it, we're going to put a Messna Chesvo on server 3 to protect the Holo Man, because when we score this, we get an advancement, and then the advancement goes on the Messna Chesvo. That's the idea, right? Which is really cool. You can restore the Stoke? Yeah, exactly. And you can restore Holo Man. Both of them work really, really well. And I'm surprised I haven't seen more people exploring this combination. Even like in the HB decks they're playing Holo Man, like restore seems really good in it. For like multiple reasons. But this is where like the deck, I think, was surprising a lot of people. Okay, Spark is going to hit the Lobisomu, so now Breakers. Messna Chest was still pretty great. Like you still have to break it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have Epiphany, so if Epiphany whiffs, like imagine we hit another Stoke here on game point. Like we can fast advance, we can't never advance, Barriers actually matter. We'll get rid of the Starlit Knight. Wait, hold on. Wait, what do we do here? We Epiphany, we find an agenda, we're in a good spot, we're cooking. Ping it to VSA into VSA is not going to hold forever. If we install the remastered, we can put 3 on it. If we restore, we can't do anything. I think we'll just Epiphany and find a Stoke off the top. Oh, okay, that's fine too. Okay. We win next turn. If they don't deal with our board, we win next turn. Because we cohort the Bologna, restore the Bologna, triple advance, remastered advance. We literally win next turn. They need to force us to do something here. Yeah, it's a start. Okay, so now we can't win because we don't have enough money. Okay, thinking. If we res this, we go down to 2, which means we can still res ping, which is annoying. So how much does that combo cost? Restore into Bologna cost us. So this costs us 4, 5, 6, and we'll get 2. We have to do this. So they still bring the Holo Man down. So then we have to just like jam the Bologna, I think, behind this. And then we can use the remastered edition to put the credit on Messna Chesvo, which is like very, very surprising. They might not play around it. Like using Messna Chesvo to, remastered to get a Messna Chesvo 3 credit loss. So this trashes Holo Man. Does anyone remember what the other 2 cards on top of the deck were? Vlad Grid into Starlit Knight. Okay. Credit. So we want to score the Bologna. We need money. The ping is okay, but not the most necessary. Honestly, remastered edition is probably the worst card here. Still could use the Cohort to cycle and score another remaster. No. I think we can't afford it. I'm not sure of what I'm missing. Can we? I think we do Vlad Grid Advance. Don't forget you also install the agenda and restore the Holo Man. Yeah, but then you can't use the Holo Man text. Like you can't use the good Holo Man text. And it's very, very expensive. Like I think we do Regolith, or we do Regolith install Vlad Advance. And then next turn we can do install Bologna Advance. That's not great either. Install the agenda and turn win next. Yeah. I think we install the Bologna and then just, we probably just install the Bologna and do Regolith. That's almost definitely it. So we need the remastered edition counter. Now, if they're going to threaten the Bologna, we can put the remastered edition counter on the Messna Chesvo, and that might buy us a turn. Yeah, next turn we'll restore Holo and score, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it's going for the Vlad grid line. That seems very, very, very difficult. Like, triple restore is like kind of nonsense. Burner, oh shit, okay. They'll miss the restore here, right? Yeah, okay. Starlit, Vlad, Grid, Restore. Let's see what they value. The Restore is the most important card in the hand. Starlit Knights, whatever. Not used to playing against HQ Pressure and Shaper. You should probably figure it out by now. Ah, Burner, bottom RD. Really never found much success with Vlad Grid. It's not great. But here, them trashing it for 4 actually matters, but it's on the bottom of R&D. If they leave Cohort or don't run Archives, you still win? Oh, that's true. Yeah, they have to run Archives. Oh my god, I'm forgetting that we have the win on the table. Yeah. This seems greedy. They have to move them to the R&D, mind you. They can't leave them there. I would have topped the Starlit there. Yeah, I think that's fair. So it's remastered. Okay, they're respecting Archives. Respect. Respect. So now we have this in hand. Mandatory draw. There's nothing we can do. Choose one. Thank you. So I think we just do advance. We get Epiphany for a card. Cohort, restore Holo, advance also. Yeah. Well, no, if we Cohort, we just do triple advance remastered, right? If the Cohort stayed, we don't need it. So we can't do anything here. Advance mess seems good. Yeah, I think it seems good. The question is whether we Epiphany for an ice, but I don't think it matters. I think we just do this. And say, like, you have to win off of R&D this turn. Which they could. They could. It's just, like, really hard with 9 points of Bologna in the deck. We also didn't have to advance the message chest, so, like, we could have drawn once to bury this, because we still have the remastered edition token. And the remastered edition token is worth something. Epiphany for Holo? Wait, Ghetto. Do we win off Epiphany for Holo? I think we do. Oh, that's really goofy. Okay, well, that's it. Oh, wow. Make a game. That's fast. Yeah. So they got their Orca down really soon. I don't know if it mattered. That was turn 8. It seemed fast. No need to advance mess when you got remastered. Yeah, exactly. But then, like, what do we do? Maybe we draw once, and immediately we drew once there into Bologna, into whatever. It would have been pretty bad. We could have top decked. Holo Man was an option. Okay, hold on. So I don't think we would have made the play, but if we Epiphanied last turn, Bologna was on top of the deck, we would have got a Holo Man. So we Epiphany the Holo Man. Well, we could have won a turn ago. We Epiphany the Holo Man. Then we res the Holo Man. We were on 10 credits, I think. Put 3. We could have won last turn if we just believed in ourselves. That being said, we had to hit 2 Holo Men in 35, so I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, that's wild. Kind of the entire Breaker Suite, keeping with tonight's tradition. Yeah, I know. The Breakers come down really, really fast. Message Chesvo is one of the rare ice that actually does keep up against. Not that this is Turbine, maybe. But yeah, we could have got there with hard the cards. That's wild. I don't know if they needed to trash our stuff sooner. They probably did. Like, if we didn't have Regolith, we had nothing. I think because we had the extra remastered edition card, we could have afforded to Epiphany click 1. Which would have been sick. Because, like, the advancement on the Messna chest, so it'd probably be better that we didn't do it and allow them to misplay into it. Because I think they might have misplayed. They might have, like, overclocked and had enough money to break Messna chest, so steal Bologna, but not to deal with the advancement counter. I think it was actually right to hit the button. I think we just do triple install here and see if Andreas is ready to deal with assets, which Hoshiko might. Still no mandate? Yeah, that's true. We should fix it. So far, hasn't mattered. But yeah, we definitely should fix it. Thank you. Hey, thanks you too. Yeah, we should remember that. Now, again, sometimes triple installing is bad because they can trash multiple things and give one Epiphany counter, but one Epiphany counter can go pretty far, I guess. Gachapon? Paladin's good early. Cleaver? Surprised to open with that. I wonder if you're looking for something particular. So the Paladin's going to go back in. Now we're looking at Overclocks and Pinhole. So Overclock is not super common in this list. I don't know what it suggests. Losing a Pinhole. Happen to have given the new Fab a look, Andre? I've looked a bit at it, Ben. Like I know the new heroes, I know there's a new like resource token, like the sort of blue resources. I'm not like into the theming and the art too much. I know that the set's also dropping in Japan for the first time. So that might resonate a bit, maybe if it's done appropriately, but it's I think pre-release is this Monday, but I don't think I can make it. I mostly play Fab just going to pre-releases because like nobody knows what they're doing, and I'm okay when it's not about like the money behind the decks. We're going for a long stream. Tron, what if we make it to midnight? And if we make it to midnight and the ban list drops at midnight, we'll be sick. Now they buy advanced. They're going for an install. A lot of times buy advanced, the trash stuff is pretty good. Mystic coming down turn 1's great. What do you think of this set, Ben? It looks complicated. Ooh, Stoke off the top, getting an Epiphany. 24-hour stream, PogChamp. They're going back. They're just hitting singles here. Maybe they have enough setup. But we get a good start here. So we'll, what's the order? I think we always go Rashida first, then Federal, then Cohort. That's the 3 start of turn triggers that are really quite good. So we'll do Rashida first, just draw 3. They know one of these cards. They know we have a Restore. Then we'll do Cohort. I don't think we want the Vlad grid, unfortunately. We could get rid of the Remastered as well because we have a Spin Doctor we're going to put on the table. That's also totally reasonable. Yeah, I'll get rid of the agenda. Actually, no, we can score this with Holo Man next turn. Sorry, Vlad grid. Look at, oh, we drew that. Look at the top 3. Spin Doctor, Planogram, Restore. Okay. So we're going to be on 8 cards in hand. We have a mandatory, so we can do install, which will be Mess and Chestful, Holo Man. I think we throw out a Stoke and we restore it next turn. So we want Planogram on the top of the deck, I think. We'll do that. Okay. So we'll do new remote server. This goes on server 4. We wanted to discard the Stoke the Embers, which is kind of difficult. So we need to put a Spin Doctor on the table. And then we have to res a Spin Doctor. So we did the ordering. Oh, no, we can keep it in hand. Yeah, because we can just cohort it. You might spin to protect the Stoke, right? Yeah, we wanted it on the table to either protect HQ or to let it discard. We'll see if Andreas like deals with Cohort. I'm honestly pretty new to Fab. My initial impression of current meta is that it's pretty varied and good, but primarily rewards value number-based decks. Hopefully new set make things more interesting. I think the new set is looking to make things more interesting. Like it just seems more complicated than just value. From what I've seen, and I'm not huge into Flesh and Blood modernly, like I'm not following it too closely. I know that the meta seems pretty varied, which is cool. I know Ranger is like Azalea doing well is kind of wild, but I think she's been doing well for about a year now, which is pretty fun. Can we even afford this? I think we can afford it. Early twinning is scary, but we generally should know the top of the deck. Be careful bidding an agenda now with Cohort. They might check archives. Yeah, we're going to do it at start of turn and restore it immediately. So we're not going to leave it in there. I think Ben, like the part of Flesh and Blood I'm most like, I miss playing Constructed because it's like a really fun game as much as like I wish it didn't cost any money. But like I know the last set that came out, Heavy Hitters, is like such a fantastic limited environment. All right, they're just trashing the Federal, which we're fine. Yeah, Stoke giving money is really, really quite nice. So Cohort, Mando, Trash, Stoke, drew a Starlit Knight. Okay. So we res the Holo Man. We restore the Stoke, letting it fire. Yep. So we Holo Man here. Great. Now we can score it. We can put an advancement on the Mess and Chest. So the question is, what do we do with our last click? We can restore the like we can do everything again. I honestly think we ice up this Cohort Guardian. We ice up either HQ or the Cohort. What do y'all think? That's so cool. Or we can just put the, I think we can put the Remastered in server 4 and don't have to be cute. Because like we can score this out like 3 different ways next turn. Is this deck good? I think the runner needs to figure out what to trash on the table, and I think that's hard to tell. We mind you have 2 Epiphany counters, and we have no idea what's on top of R&D, but with their Mastered Edition, like we're basically going to fast advance Bologna. I think that play was close to credit neutral. Yeah, which is saying something, right? Like we paid 1 to get the Stoke. The Stoke gave us 5. We paid 4 in advance. I think it was flat, totally flat. Buzzsaw, okay. Mess and Chest was still pretty good. They could, in theory, get in here. Now the advancement kind of really tells you what this ice is, but this is like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to break. So they'll still the agenda, but not the Holo Man. Don't feel great about it because they're on game point with the twinning. Oh, never mind. Turbine's here. Wait, actually with Turbine, they can't even break the message chest unless they have an overclock. Oh, that's sick. Okay. I think the Turbine played a version of this for the last month. It's good. I don't know how to play it well. Switch over. No, we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Mandatory draw cohort. We'll flip. This is where Vlad Grid, like Vlad Grid cohort's like kind of cute. Why are we drawing these things? Okay, that's fine though. Cohort. So I think we'll just remaster this. Wait, where did our money go? Where did our money go? That was expensive. We didn't have to do that. We could have just triple advanced. It's fine. If we click for credits, it kind of comes out in the wash. So next turn we throw out the Stoke the Embers, restore it, and then we're on game point. We should probably ice R&D. They just can't steal Bologna on 0 credits, so I don't feel too bad about it. If we res a Spin Doctor now, we probably should. We don't know any of these cards. Okay. But like they can only steal non-Bolognas. And in terms of non-Bolognas, there's only 2 non-Bologna agendas in the R&D if they use the twinning here. That like this go very well if they can keep multiple FA tools on the board. Yeah, exactly. The idea is that we're presenting too many things for them to deal with. Okay, so now we know off the top there's no agendas, so Epiphany's, you know, they can't trash anything. Okay, 1 and 6 here. Rashida, they can't trash anything. They definitely need to get their money up because of Bologna. 1 and 6. Rashida again. It's all Rashidas. Okay. So can we score the Stoke? Yeah, we can. I think we can. Oh my, that's so wild. Mandatory draw, cohort, trash the Stoke. This is so goofy. Moves to Holo Man, no. Restore, Stoke the Embers. Server 4, reveal it, gain 2 credits. It's so goofy. The recursion card is fast advance. Get wrecked by Miss Bones, 100% you do. Score this out. We'll put the advancement on here and get more money. We're on 6 credits. Now the top 2 cards of R&D are totally known. We don't have the win in hand. So I think we just put Rashida in server 4 and then go from there. And hopefully Rashida top decks the win. We also have a Holo Man on the table, so, and a remastered edition. So that's pretty good. How's the naked cohort surviving this long? I don't know. It definitely should have been trashed a long time ago. Now they did bottom out, installing Turbine and smashing into Mesta Chesto, which might have been a bit greedy. Like, you do know this is a Mesta Chesto if it's advanced, probably, unless you think it's like a barrier. But yeah, this card is the sort of card that if people play around, this deck's power level falls off really, really hard. Like, I think you just need to trash this 100%. They do have pinholes in their deck. They could pinhole the Rashida. Gamble, nice, Mystic, Recovery. So they need to deal with this. Cohort should be dead turn 1. Yeah, I know I said this at the beginning, is like when I started playing this deck, people didn't prioritize the cohort. Okay, this is going to be expensive for them. Just kidding. 4 credits. Unfortunately, we lose the Rashida. It's okay. I think we Spin Doctor in 2 restores. I think it's that good. I don't know if we need the Regolith. I really like Cohort and Assistance protected for free, yeah. They should call you on it every once in a while, though. So if we Epiphany, what can we hit here? If we Epiphany a Stoke the Ember, we cannot score it. So we can get another cohort on the table. We can get a hedge fund. We need to ice up R&D. I think we do another Epiphany, a cohort in server 4 to force them to do something about that. We can advance this once, which we probably should. Wait, you could? Wait, what? You cannot Epiphany Stoke the Embers? Yeah, you can. Why not? Oh, you can with remastered. Oh my god, wait a second, you're right. Yeah, wait. Yeah, if we find any 4-2 here, we win. Oh no, it has to be it has to specifically be Stoke the Ember. So if it's Bologna, we have a Bologna. It's nice to have a Bologna because then you have a Bologna. Oh, because there's no more in the game. Never mind. Yeah, no, we can't. Wait, this is scuffed. This is scuffed. We still can get a Holo Man though. That seems good. Because then the Bologna is coming off the top. Yeah, so we put Holo Man in server 4. That's better. So how much money do we need? We Epiphany the Bologna. Because the top is Cohort. If they trash that, then it's different. We Epiphany the Bologna. We Holo Man it. We advance. Yeah, that's fine. Reading in my card game. Bologna advance still wins probably. I don't think we have to risk it. Because they're on overclock. I think you're right, but we have to do Bologna advance with the message. I think you're right though. Bologna advance probably wins. Because we can do the remastered into Mesta Chesto play. Yeah, whatever. It's less flashy, but I think that's better. Because they're gonna miss probably the remastered into Mesta Chesto. I know I would. Yeah, whatever. If they steal it, they could win the game. We're gonna throw out. I think it's Starlit Night. Tacit refusal to NA Bologna. Catto, there's another wait in chat. Uh-oh. Is Epiphany once per turn? No. No, you can do as many times as you want. Wait, did we have it? Can you Epiphany the Bologna? Epiphany the, what's it called? Triple advance? No, then we're one short with remastered. Epiphany Bologna, Epiphany that advanced? No, we can't. Don't you Holo Bello? No, I think we're short Catto, because that's only 4 advancements. Because you do Epiphany, Holo Man, remastered edition takes you to 4. That's all you. Yeah, I think we're short 1. We could have scored a 4-2 though, because you can do Epiphany. You never know where to look at once per turn. I think it's usually the last sentence. Yeah, Holo's a click. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Did we lose them? We did so many undo clicks. Maybe they walked away. They're like, this guy. Hey. So they need to beat Mesta Chesto, which is 4 to break with remastered and Bologna. Corp Julie when? It's called Wage Workers. It's called Miramore. If we have it, Kyle, you enjoy it. It's good. I think we're literally going to run to midnight to see if we can get the new ban list. I want more clicks. Mandate. Did we lose them? Did we DC? No, because our chat is coming through. We good? We cool? Well, hello, Nana. She woke up. Oh, she's going to go find her food. Good stuff. Bless you. Yeah, the remastered into Mesta Chesto was like such a goofy line. I really hope SBL drops on stream up. River, we're going to try our hardest to get to midnight. I'm pretty sure it usually drops at like 8 in the morning for where I am. So it's not likely going to happen. That being said, if it does drop early tomorrow morning, I'll put together a short video just talking about it that we can get up like Saturday morning, maybe. Just so like, because I honestly think it's a thing we should be doing more. Is like more short form stuff. It's like when NSG posts stuff, it doesn't go much further than obviously NSG's website. So I feel like there's a lot of people who play Netrunner like tabletop that would kind of want to know this stuff that don't know because they're not plugged into NSG. Banlist review would be hype, yeah, something like that. But not like super critical, like more so like this is probably what it means. This is what to look out for. Because I don't know, if you ban like a breaker, I don't know what I'm gonna be able to tell you. All right, so they have 3 clicks to figure out how to get this Bologna. They also lost a credit to Hoshika, right? So they didn't actually start with 2 credits. Checking archives, respect. Nothing in there. I guess that plays around Cohort, which you don't really need to play around Cohort here. Not all concept needs to be not all content needs to be in deep. Yeah, I think that's an issue. It's like we need to be better at doing short form content. Buy a bands, okay. We don't know anything about the top of the. No, we do know the top of the deck. It is a Cohort. Pally's coming down. Yeah. Seeing 1 unknown card. He's seeing 1 unknown card. Sorry, I was thinking about Paladin Poemo. Oh, concede. Oh, good game. Oh, they left. Bummer. Okay. That went fast. That's turn 6. We outspeeded the turbine a bit. We did get there. And if we look at the top of the deck, Holo Man coming up, remastered coming up, Vlad Grid, not great. Let's go. Yeah, this is feeling okay so far. I do think you need to trash the cohorts, and if you do trash the cohorts, we do not get away with that sort of speed. That is like the fact that it allows us to turn on restores is the goofiest part of the combo. I'm so surprised we haven't seen Restore. What's the card that you got to change? Oh, Iron Fox is gonna. Uh-oh. But the Lou does. In theory, we should drop a predicted planogram into Lamau. Sure. I'll believe it when I see it. We should drop a predicted planogram for a mandate. I think it's nonsense. Well, like, I think it gives you an option against a matchup where you're struggling, but it's soft to trash. Yeah. Got to try the 1x open forum tech. Seb. Okay, cool. I don't love this opening hand. If we res a Hydra on turn 1, we could do Ice, Hydra, Credit. Doesn't feel fast enough. I'm going to mulligan into this. Now, Seb has good ways to deal with assets relatively. Like, you have Hannah, you have Miss Bones, you have Scrubber. Like, there's very, very good ways to deal with assets in Seb. So let's see if we can go faster than that. Thanks, you too. Do we have to ice up HQ? I think we might. Ion Fox, like, might play Eye for Eye. But maybe we can do Spin Doctor, Regolith, Ice HQ with Starlit. That's probably good enough. Is ping better? I think we want ping for remote server, Starlit for centrals, because you get through Starlit, but it is annoying. That being said, like, ping and Starlit are kind of good into Seb. Like, if I face check and then you get a tag just for an end around, it's like what you wanted Seb to do anyways, and you don't have to work for it. So like NBN Ice into Seb is like kind of weird. It's still really annoying that if you get tag me, and specifically Oppo Research, which we don't have, if we have Oppo Research, then it turns off most of Seb's powerful cards, and that's obviously a big downside. But we're not exactly that NBN deck. No way you think I'm on imp. Old habits die hard. All right, friend of a friend for a tag. I've heard this pattern can be slow. Let's see what it is. Hannah for the remote server, then Hannah to clear the tag. That's to get the full Hannah. So we're going to get our Epiphany counter. Hannah's probably going to clear this tag. Maybe you can float a tag. But already Ion's doing a lot better to contest the board and keep us honest. Lagu coming down, clearing the tag, class act. Whoa, you opened with the class act. If he drops a knob, we're going to have words. Class act. I don't know how many are in the deck. I've never played class act in Seb just because I hate playing a 5 influence card I can't tutor for. Why did I res that? That's okay. I thought that was another. It's fine. It's fine. Lagu means that we're going to see a bit of the card deck to go deeper. So let's force the issue. Just top deck the 1x class act skill diff. Yeah, that's the thing that I get frustrated about, like the 1x's. It's like, I don't know. When it happens, it feels bad. It's like when they draw the tributary turn 1 in Asa group or whatever, it's just like, yeah, okay. Lost to Julie. Drew a card. Which of these do we ice up? We have Epiphany this turn, but we don't really have an Epiphany setup. I think we'll Starlit Knight. No, that's way too much money. That's fine. Lagu Alice is the truth. Lagu's cool as a way to add like more card draw to basically any deck. I'm still not convinced I like it more than Earthrise, but in Seb, yeah, 100%. An eye for an eye consume. Consume is only corp cards though. Like imagine you got 4 counters or whatever. That'd be fun. Oops, it's asset spam, but admittedly we only have 12 assets. This is not like R+. Going R&D here for single? Do we shuffle with Spin Doctor? No. What's this run for? We're just touching cards? Or do you not have Bologna credits? What did Ion touch there? Hydra. Huh. Okay. So not keeping up with the board. not keeping up with the board. So we can do cohort. Do we want to push the Bologna? I don't think we do. I think we just want to hold down until we put probably Hydra on their remote server. Lost to Buzzsaw is good because we can put VSA on R&D. Iron hasn't drawn the bones yet though. I would take an imp ban for people to play eye for eye, right? It would take an imp ban? Yeah, it would take an imp ban. Or an Opkari ban. And probably still, like the problem with eye for an eye is that it's in Seb and it fundamentally is like a 4-card card. Like it requires you to have a connection in hand for Seb. It requires you to have 2 cards in hand for you to trash. Like that's just so hard for Seb. And it's because Seb fundamentally struggles with carving a good hand, running and or, you know, card draw. So it's just so hard. I'm so down for a knob ban. Yeah, I could see it. I actually be kind of surprised. Like, I feel like if you deal with labor rights, that's a bit sooner. But I think there's fundamentally a problem with the game where purging doesn't make any sense. And knob creep is one of the big reasons, but not the only reason. What if knob ban costs our plus ban? There's a leech. Okay, we lost 2 cohorts. That's the respect we wanted. Rest in peace. Yeah, it's okay. Spin Doctor. Do we want to shuffle these back in? I think we can now push the Bologna. I don't think the imp is coming down. We would love a Holo Man. Okay, restore. No targets yet. But if we do install advanced events, we go down to 6 credits. I think we can get away with this Bologna pretty easily. I don't want to res most of the ice. Like, most of the ice just makes Sebastian stronger. So I think we'll just push this and then see what happens. I think eye for eye has way more chance of working somewhere outside of sub. Yes. I think it has more chance of working in somewhere like Oshiko, where card draw doesn't struggle and you don't carry to have a connection in hand. It's also like not a lot of sub decks are playing the full copy of like Strike Fund and Steel Skin. This deck might, but like I'm pretty sure this deck isn't even playing Strike Fund as much as it is playing Lagu. So like the sort of deck that's running the sort of trash forward package fully. Hey Cror, how's it going? So what is the R plus versus sub matchup really like? It's cursed. It's like, for me, it seems super volatile because you're doing well, you're face planting into ice, but as soon as you don't keep tracking economy and you get oppoed and you realize like your good econ plays like privilege access don't work anymore, it's pretty bad. So it's hard because like having a blank ID is really, really rough. Hippo, okay. No breakers yet. I think we'll just take it. Turn on threat 3 for oppo. There's at least one card mentioned in this ban list update. Best scoop I can do. Well, hey, for real, Cror, could have been no changes. There are no changes. There's a Praxis. Leech getting a counter sick. We're just coming back. Probably Hannah? Maybe we need friend of a friend for econ. Because clearing the tag on the Hannah is good. Yeah, no worries. There still might be no changes, but a card is mentioned. Cror, you're backpedaling. You're like, wait, that is a scoop. New Ed just won some events. Wait, what do you mean, Kyle? If they announced a ban list update and said no changes, I'd be so mad. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy. Like, I think everyone wants changes. There were some metas where we like no changes. Everyone's like stoked about it. Steve, okay. So let's see how the Starlight Knight gets still one. Friend of a friend, that's the one from the bin. You want to push forward the release, some stream discussion for the SPL? Wait, sorry, Tron? All right, so, oh yes. Oh no. Draw. So friend of a friend will probably be that last click there. Now with DJ Fenris, like you can't really float a tag. Oh, to Cror, okay. Okay. So I think we don't res the ping. I think we just do Hydra Rashida. Well, then we shouldn't have trashed it. Why did we have to trash it? I can't undo that. Sorry, that was nonsense. I could just build a new server. Sorry. I don't have to build in front of that. I might as well just have that. I don't think we need in circulation. Now we made it obvious that it's bad, which is like not a place you want to be. So we haven't seen an Aqua Ceres crew just yet. I have no power with the SPL release timing. Yeah, I think the release timing of the article is like not the SPL team. It's like publishing probably. I'm assuming that's how it works. They lost to Praxis. Love it. I think we just hedge fund here. Anything that gets destroyed with Hippo will like probably restore back, but we unfortunately haven't seen anything cool. We could be Epiphanying. Maybe we should believe in ourselves a bit more in Epiphany. Also, I'm OP, not SPL. That might have been disrespectful, Cror. Sorry if we thought you were SPL. We just thought of you as an NSG person who knows about all the cards. Hopefully you're doing well. How's Friday? We're 15 minutes away from a Friday. There's the bones. Okay, it's happened. So we're going to get a good old 5-cost res Hydra. It's going to give a tag though, which like you do appreciate that as Sebastian. Friend of a friend is a nice way to, this is where like the matchup gets really interesting. So now where the Regolith is going down, at least that's one trash a turn because of Epiphany. A lot of people know all the scoops and they choose to keep them from me. Honestly, they probably do because everything's in one, you know, thing. Now the problem is the Hydra is going to get like Aqua Ceres, Devil Charmed or whatever. Draw 3, gain 3. Okay, sick. So we have access to Mest and Chesso, Vlad Grid Advance. Mest and Chesso Remastered Edition Advance seems a bit better. We're getting called on money. Drawn's onto us, support. We're getting close on money. Like, we honestly might have to restore for Regolith. Like, restore for Regolith, hit Regolith. No, that's not good either. How do you deal with a Hydra this soon? Like, it has to be Devil Charm, Aquaceres. Wait, so Seb goes tag off Hydra, then installs Val. Does the Corp not gain 5? Oh my god, yeah, hold on. That's really funny thinking. So the idea is that if the first Hydra subroutine fires, and then you install Val on threat 3, and then Val clears the tag, then the second one gets a tag. Yeah, you're right. You would actually deny 5 credits. That's really, really funny. That's very funny. We would be upset not to have 5 credits here. That's really good. Because it is an interrupt, right? It's not a paid ability thing. We Epiphany for Holo Man here 100% of the time. Yeah, okay. And you get another sub trigger? Yes, you get another sub trigger on the second one. That's really funny. 24 cards left. Okay, so that's a Holo Man. So we want to score the remastered edition, which means we need to discard it. So the other option is we can, I think we do need to ice this up again. What else was up there? Bologna and Cohort. So I think we Epiphany for a Cohort in server 7. And then just do anything that's economically viable. Hydra's gunning you down until 2 Vals in hand. 1 Val is good enough. 1 Val and something else. What? Cohort, Holo Man, Bologna, Rashida, Vladisper's Ping. Why did our deck change? Why is our deck different? Hello? What happened? Am I? What's going on? What happened? Scooby? These are different cards. JNet? These are straight up different cards. No, I have the memory log. Like, Cyber Feeder. I know what they should be. And they're not. What's going on? Install something? Okay. Yeah. Then hit Epiphany again. Okay. For science. So the top of the deck should be Vlad Grid Ping. No, this time is correct. No, this time is right. I wonder if Lago interrupted it and caused a shuffle. I wonder if Lago did it. Can we try and undo turn and you choose not to Lago? Yeah, that's super spooky. What the heck? Okay, that's so strange. Rashida, Holo Man, Vlad Grid. No. That's different. Why did we think there's a Cohort there? Cohort, Holo Man, Bologna. Huh? So now I see 3 cards, but they're different than the first ones in the log. We might have to rewind on the VOD. Maybe this is wrong somehow. Because it looks like we did this, and then we ended up here, but the Vlad Grid is the Holo Man. I don't know if the log is wrong. Yeah, it might be the log is wrong. Yeah, it might be. I'd have to check the VOD. Okay, whatever. We'll continue. I want to get the Cohort there. Let's see what the log says. Hey, London, I put 2x Valentina, good game by the way, for R+, and it helps a lot. I don't know about blank ID. Getting big oppo to install wheels and removing all tags and at 2 clicks and 2 credits is pretty good. Like in Seb or in generalist? Because I don't think I've seen Valentina seems underwhelming in generalist. Because the amount of like times she needs to fire to be better than a normal econ card, like a conventional econ card, is like really, really high. Okay, so we can restore a cohort. Why do we need it? So we can throw out the remastered edition to fire it. Okay, what else do we know is on top of the deck? We know there's Rashida and a Vlad grid. So I think we just restore, I think we do restore for a cohort. It removes the other cohort from the game. Talking about Seb, yeah, in Seb I play at least one Valentina, maybe two. I don't think that's like too spicy. The log pulls from memory and can be a bit weird. You can notice this by playing a game and then spectating a game. The spectating game will show cards from your last played game. For real. I'm not up to anything. I reviewed the log. The log is wrong. The top cards are Rashida, Holo Man, and Vlad Grid. Okay, so it's a problem with Cyberfeeder. Thank you, Spark. I'll let Rahi know. So we could either throw out the remastered edition. He lied as he breathed. I think we throw out the Starlit Knight. It's actually pretty good into Seb because like Seb's going to struggle to deal with. No, it gets Aquaceras Crude. What am I talking about? Yeah, Cyberfeeder was wrong. Okay, I'll ping Rahi about it with a timestamp. Which goes to show that we shouldn't put full faith in third-party tools. I don't think it shows that. Like, I hear you. So we can let this go. Otherwise, we spend 5 to res. I think we just let this run happen. Oh, it's a Steve run. But the Steve run's going to happen no matter what. I think we just let the 1 in 5 and hope. The Leech is also problematic with Aquaceras Crew. Like, Leech is very good with Aquaceras Crew. Praxis, yeah, it's annoying. Fuck. Oh, that's a 1 in 5. That feels bad. We could have discarded that. That actually might have been better. We know the next 2 cards are not agendas. It's a Holo Man coming up and a Vlad Grid. The Vlad Grid's been underperforming, that's for sure. Not even practicing, which is wild. Okay, we still have a chance to break lock with Cohort and do something cool. So we'll trash the Vlad Grid because we're going to draw another one. Okay, so we'll Epiphany for Stoke the Embers. Ping Bologna. So if we do Bologna, we can't score it. But then we have a Bologna. Yeah, that's fine. This card must have been better given that the archives runs aren't actually accessing. Yeah, if you assume that they're going to, rogue trading, if they're going to praxis, then you don't have to worry about the archives flip. 100%. So classic and rogue trading. Is this just Jai's list? Like unchanged? Jai, do you know if it's just your list? So we can do advance. We can get 4 counters. There's a chance that they rip through Hydra. The other option now is just to put 2 things on the table. So I think we can put Vlad Grid, Rashida, and like maybe Hannah comes down. I guess we do ice up archives. I just don't think we have enough money to back this call. Yeah, that's not great. Jai, is this not like the deck that you published the first like Seb deck of List of the Week with the single class act? This looks very similar to it. I don't know if you can tell from the distance if this looks different or not. But this looks like all the cards are in there. We just let this go through. If Seb gets back some recursion, at least it's not Aquaceras Cruise. I don't think we mind too much. Like, we just can't afford to res 5 and then let Seb's ability fire. Not until we're on game point. And I think we actually cohort for card draw more than we cohort for the advancement. Oh, Julie's new. Okay. You didn't have Julie. That makes sense. You don't see a lot of people playing road trading in Seb. Hannah's really good. I think now it's all the fact that they haven't drawn. Oh, I almost touched my hair. They haven't touched Aquaceras Cruise yet. We'd also be upset about a Manuel Lachishimura. Even icing up archives makes a lot of sense into what's it called? DECKLISTS are there RWR week, my crowning achievement. 2 games in, Jai posts his deck list. Hey y'all, I figured it out. Hannah. We can now check server 7. Yep. We got to protect this. Now this means that you're going to take 2 tags. Is open form Nuvum tech just looking? It might be. Oh, there's an Aquaceras. Oh, from hand. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, that's a really good play. I think it's fine. If it eats the ping, it eats the ping. We don't need the cohort this turn. What is open form Doom Supernaut? It's been a while since I've seen one. Oh, you're actually taking 2 tags. So I guess it's like Devil Charm, run server 8. Cry? Cleaver. Oh, okay. Not Devil Charming that. Or sorry, now Officer screwing that. Okay, Hannah for clicks, yeah. After your mandatory draw, reveal the top card of R&D and add it to HQ. Add 1 card from HQ to the top of R&D. Oh, that seems really... Like, it's just federal fundraising, but bad. Right? Saving crew for Hydra? Yeah, but I don't know if they're on Devil Charm. We would have seen it by now. Vlad Grid's going to get us out of this hole. And they still have to deal with this Holo Man, or they can lose at any time from Epiphany top deck. Oh, actually, only into Stoke. Oh, leech counters? Yeah. Leech counters, Aquasaurus crew brings the Hydra down. That's very, very true. I don't think we res this. We res R&D, if anything. It's going to be bad, but at least it's going to be affordable bad. They so far have shown no multi-axis, and like that's the biggest problem, is like Seb doesn't put off a lot of pressure besides ice pressure, which is like, I think 2 Stargates and Seb, maybe even 2 Manuel is right. Because you just need to make those runs make sense sooner than later. But like these are the sort of decks that are not running dirty laundry. Even Biobands doesn't always make it. We don't know the top of R&D. No, the top of R&D is the Vlad Grid, I'm pretty sure. I think it was the weird turn was 2 turns ago. Epiphany makes this pretty threatening, right? You can win off top with Stoke. Yeah, exactly. There's 3 Stoke in R&D. We can Stoke into the Holo Man. So here, Iron Fox is probably going to take the Hydra down. Hey, Kira, Iron Fox ruining SG reputation again? Wait, what's SG? Oh, there's the Manuel. Okay. We might see some R&D pressure. We don't know. I think we only know the top card of R&D. No, maybe we don't. Maybe it was this grid. I think we broke lock a while ago. No Manuel? I think you need to deal with the Holo Man. We don't have him a virus. Yeah, okay. So we're going to lose a Hydra. That sucks. And we're going to lose a Holo Man. That also sucks. Cool. At least we made him work for it a bit. This is why icing HQ makes sense, because we can't bleed leech counters. So this turn, 9 credits, federal fundraising. So what can we top deck to win? We can top deck... What do we have in the bin? We have a Holo Man. So if we Epiphany Stoke the Embers, it gets an advancement. Then we Epiphany restore Holo Man, we can win. Because that costs us 4, 5, 6, 7. So we just need to find a Stoke the Embers here and we win. We don't have one. Would have been cool. It would have been cool if we found an agenda there. We would have done something. It has to be Stoke. So we still have that play set up. So I think we want to push the Vlad Grid. We can single advance it, because then there's another way with Stoke the Embers you can get out. So via safe, I'll just put federal fundraising on the table. Hannah is out. We're safe against Manuel. We're going to install cards anyway, so Seb's going to do, or Lagu's going to do Lagu's thing. Lost. Oh, Class Act is really cool into Lagu. But not perfect. Pretty cool. So we can do Rashida in server 7, Federal in server 9. I think that's probably better than the Vlad Grid. Just to set up like multiple angles to get the top rope. Yeah, I think Rashida's better. So now there's 3 things to trash without Hannah. It's a bit difficult. It's not expensive. It's just like time consuming. In terms of Hannah count, only 1 out. I think that same Hannah's come back a fair bit, it feels like. I think 1 came back from DJ. Yeah, it did. I haven't been paying attention to the DJ. I've just been clicking on whatever they've presented us, excuse me. Aquasaurus crew, ping's going down. We're going to pressure HQ. Starlit Knight, unfortunately, is just unresable. All this ice besides Message Chest gets trashed instantly. So we can't res this because it just dies. 1 is RFG? Yeah, that was the one that came off of DJ Fenris. So assumingly we Rashida first, because we know the 2 cards on R&D, there's a small chance that it draws us a Stoke, which would be upsetting. You can have a friend of a friend, I guess. Vlad Grid. Pretty tricky. Trashing it, cool. We're happy that they lost 4, especially because this can be Miss Bones credits. Unfortunately, I think we have to res this. It actually does survive and takes 3 credits. We can Federal, Rashida, Federal, I guess. Oh, that's better. That's much better, Jai. You're right. So you cannot break this. So you're going to eat one of those and lose 3 credits. We're on 2 credits. So if Rashida sticks, yeah, you have to deal with Rashida here. We actually probably should have uniced Rashida. I think it's much better that you... This is more obvious that Fox would check this. So now to score out the combo, we need... What does Stoke the Embers even do? Well, we'll find out if we find out. Okay, it's here. How much money do we need? When you... Okay, it gives us 2 credits when we install it. So restore Holo Man, it costs 4, 5, 6, 7. So not good enough. If we had Rashida in another table, we would have won if it was somewhere else. No, because, okay, we need restore for Holo Man, that's 7. Because it's 4 plus 2 plus 1. And that's all we need to do. We just need 7 credits. So, unfortunately, we could lose to Stoke the Embers. I don't think there's any way around it. Okay. 5 credits Stoke refunds? Yes. Yes. Sorry, I should have. Yeah. Yeah, you get 2 back. No, if refunds 2 and then on 3 it's score, right? So not much we can do. I think we just do predictive spin doctor. I'd probably leave it 3rd from the top and not draw with the 2nd fundraising, so you're guaranteed Epiphany next turn. Even if fundraising gets trashed, we won't be guaranteed because of Manuel. Like, if Ion runs R&D, it'll be with a tag, unless we don't res VSA. So actually, yeah, if that's the case, we should have 2'd it down and just not res the VSA. I just think Ion's able to, like, tag themselves. But yeah, that's actually probably right. We could have put a 2 down and then just assumed we were not going to res ice on R&D. Yeah, that's actually a substantial misplay. Because we could have put a planogram on top of it. Yeah, that's not good. We can do better. If Federal survives, we win. Copium? We don't need Federal to survive. We just need the Stoke to... Oh, no, we need Federal to survive. You're right. We need 1 Federal to survive. Oh, yeah, that's really, really bad. Because not only is it 2 down, but we won't draw with Epiphany. The thought is 2 down in case the fundraising gets trashed. Because, yeah, Crow, there's 2 reasons why. Not only is it harder to get because of Manuel, but because then we won't draw it. Because drawing gets really bad. Yeah, 100%. We scuffed it. It's okay. We'll just spin Dr. Shuffle and then not have to... Oh, no, they'll be in our hand? No, that'll be fine. We'll spin Dr. Shuffle. We'll have to spin Dr. Shuffle anyways, unfortunately. You're doing the silly Embers thing? I don't know what you're talking about. We're just out here playing Epiphany. Okay, so we have to shuffle this one. So now we don't know where the cards are. That's fine. We're going to leave a Holo Man in because, of course, we are. We're going to put a Restore back. I think we're going to put a Vlad Grid on the back in the deck because it is technically a win condition. Yep. That's okay. We just Epiphany click 1. If we have it, we have it. If we don't have it, we don't have it. One fundraising down. 2 fundraising down. Cohort instead of Vlad. Not maybe. I think install advanced events Vlad like is basically like putting a blown on a table. Like Fox has to deal with it. So do we res the spin doctor? It's equally likely to not draw a Stoke as it is to draw a Stoke. What's the math here? This is always super unintuitive to me. Is like, do we res a spin doctor? Because we want Epiphany to... No, we keep it so if Epiphany misses, we have a chance to do it next turn. We always... Why do we always res? Because looking at the top card is the same as looking at the second card. Always res? No. Why? I don't think that makes sense. Because we're just trying to get a Stoke in. The more we draw doesn't make us more likely to hit a Stoke. Because Stoke is equally likely to be the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th card. Right? Like, I think this is a fallacy. But not an intuitive one. It doesn't do anything for you until after you mandatory because there are 3 Stokes. So what does it mean the 3 Stokes? So we get a shuffle having to draw later? Oh, because we have to res it, it breaks? Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but the idea is that if it's challenge, we have to res, which will break our Epiphany lock if we miss. But we're not going to miss. Stoke the Embers. New remote server. Place counters on it. Lagu fires. We didn't have to res the Spin Doctor, unfortunately. Didn't matter there, but yeah, I think it's right. Restore. It's good when recursion is your win condition. Very healthy. Very healthy. Server 11. 4. We even have a... Oh, we don't have a click left, right? Score. Good game. Yeah, like Seb was keeping our board down, but I don't think we were worried about Seb's pressure that much. Maybe the double axis. Like our ice is just bad into Seb, unfortunately. But yeah, I was there. 3 Stoke still in the deck. This one was definitely a bit slower. This feels like turn 11. What turn is this? Turn 11. Yeah, okay. So slightly slower. Thanks for the game, Fox. Maybe I should have pushed on the Bolognas. Yeah, maybe. I think they obviously look like Bolognas. I think the install advanced events play to make a Bologna look like a Vlad grid is actually worth something. Like, people don't do it. Are we up to E for Alex? No, we're not. We're still stuck on A. I'm really hoping the ban list tomorrow does something to make Atea feel better, which is like hurt some sort of late game icebreakers. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't remember the board state. But most of my ice is lousy reses into you. The Hydra came down just a bit too late, I think. Dana really needs a turn counter. It has it. It's in the chat log, isn't it? A lot of pieces got trashed, so you can just hit the gas all game. Yeah. The Ion Fox did keep down our cohorts with like, yeah, a lot. I wanted free installs. Cool. Are you on Charm? I don't know, like Leech is really good and it gives, you know, a reason to run, let alone you are running central servers with like DJ Fenner Steve and like running Arcas with Praxis. Like that's really good. But just like getting a Devil Charm down is almost, I feels like always worth the slot. Always worth the slot because it's just like, no matter what you res, it's gone. Any wild guesses on the new ban list tomorrow? Yeah, my guesses are labor rights, an NBN card. I'd be happy for R+. I think you can do Bologna, but if you do Bologna, you ban NBN in general. I think those are the 2 major candidates. What else needs to be addressed? I would like to see Cleaver or Buzzsaw go. I don't think you ban Turbine. What else do we want to talk about? Yeah, I think N6 can ban Rococo. I would really like Labor Rights to be banned. I think that's where I'm standing. HGG. Hopefully no looseness. I fear that day. Oh, we froze. I heard a lot of people calling for Tributator Hope Estates. I don't think there's any way that anything from the set that just came out gets banned. Like, NSG has been pretty, you know, they're more on the side of like, we'll wait for things to be around for a while and then we'll ban based off of that, right? Like, it has to be a couple months before people find out. Like, you know how long it took for Endurance to be banned? And admittedly, Endurance is an interesting card. I think I'd ban the price before Labor Rights. Honestly, I think I'd ban Strike Fund before either of those. No, actually, no, I would ban Labor Rights very, very quickly. Ares and SGP Rococo, yeah, I think Ares should, like, something needs to go to pull back NBN. I think Bologna is an option. I think people want to be Bologna for ban for a while, but I think if you ban Bologna, you ban the NBN faction. I don't think there's been an NBN deck competitively played that doesn't run Bologna in it for the last, since Bologna has come out. Literally unplayable. Endurance is a really weird case. Yeah, I agree. I think Ares is possibility. I think Ares goes against the whole idea that like you don't have to run turn 1 and won't lose you the game. And I find the game to be so attached to 3-1s sneaking through is like really, really kind of frightening. I don't know. I don't like powerful effects on 3-1s because they can be never advanced. Right? Like obviously if Ares was a 4-1, it'd be different, but I do not like that cards like Ares and Stegodon can be never advanced. And it's like, oh, you didn't run 1 turn, the game is totally messed up. I don't like it. If Ares goes, you have to ban Knob. Yeah, but I think banning Labor Rights hits that deck pretty hard. Yeah, I think something has to go. Like either Ares, Amani, or R+ or Bologna. Like there'll be an NBN card. I think if you ban 2 NBN cards, NBN is just cooked. But I think if you ban Bologna, NBN is cooked. Like I don't think you can ban NBN without, like Bologna without NBN being absolutely gutted as a faction. But something has to hit the 25 acid deck, that's for sure. Ares is a rough thing to exist when Oppo can punish the turn 1 run so hard. Yep. Oh no, well, Ares, Oppo doesn't punish the turn 1 run so hard. You just choose not to trash, right? I do think if you steal an agenda turn one, yeah, with Oppo, you're right, that gets you. But it's a minor Oppo. Hopefully you can recover from that. I do think Oppo is much more easy to swallow when there's no it's midnight. It's not up yet. When there's no R plus. I think R plus is about to go. Oh, this is actually the last part of the news. We forgot about this. Hold on, I'm glad we did this. So Netrunner UKGE, that's UK Games Expo in Birmingham, where they make brass. It's the 31st of May and 2nd of June, from the 31st of May. So that's really soon. That's going to overlap with America Continentals. You can find us at booth 2694 at Hall 2. Products and special guests. Firstly, they'll be demoing and teaching, which is sick. But if you're listening to this, you probably already know a bit about the game. They'll be bringing burger tokens back in stock so players can start playing right away. That's cool. And then there's some play mats. Also, Liga's going to be there to sign stuff. Liga Smilskalne will be at our booth all weekend to happy sign mats and cards. And they show off some mats and cards, or mats that are buyable, purchasable. Firstly, this has been around for a while. I think the Scottiminga 2-player board. I've seen 2-player boards, or actually, like, I've only heard of 2-player boards. I've never seen them in person. I've seen them online. And this is like a fantastic art for it because it's really long. It's a really good aspect ratio for that. So that's really cool. It says remote server, sick, and has the basic action card. Those are really nice. I genuinely cannot believe that this is not prize supported. This is one of the nicest playmats that you can just purchase. I thought that this art would be reserved for the world champion because the 1 of 1 on this is like so frightening. This art's fantastic. The fact that Liga can get it signed is incredible. I don't know how to get someone to sign one of these for me from Liga, but this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe that this is accessible. That's incredible. And then this art zoomed in too, so you don't see the digital wall, is a really great framing of this. And then you see Vo a bit closer. Also phenomenal, really good art. I think we were expecting these to be prize support arts because these were like stellar, but it's great that they're accessible to everyone, that's for sure. So you can get these at probably other events. I don't think these are exclusive to UK Games Expo. Also, Keiko will be available at UKGE, which is really cool to see Keiko out there. Come and play, open and organized play. So there's going to be open play there and organized stuff. So if you're in the area, definitely hit up the folks there to get some play. Also, just NSG, just as an idea, if there's any cool, like, you know, new stuff for sale on your store, like some plushies, and you just want like some free press, you got my address, just send them my way. I'll show them off on stream. It'll be really cool. And then either we'll keep them or we'll more likely raffle them off to the community, which will be kind of nice. We ended up with too much amazing prize support, need to spread it around and not steal it all for OP. That's really cool, Cror. Like I'm surprised. Not that NSG like doesn't want to sell stuff and like have cool stuff for all people, but like this to me was like the perfect Worlds playmat. So now I'm even more stoked to see what the Worlds playmat is. But yeah, this is just a fantastic playmat. I don't know if this will ever be available on the NSG store. Maybe, we'll see, but it might just be at events because that's easier like that. But NSG is definitely doing more stuff like this. If that was the World Champ mat and they rolled it out in front of me, I would just concede. Exactly. It's like really intimidating. We ended up with, I just read that, excuse me. Shooketh, that there aren't a laser pointer playmat to complete the set. Oh yeah, because there's banner and laser pointer, no, and umbrella. Yeah, there is. That's cool. Hold on. I think balance sheet now is harder. I've heard that balance sheet now works at FFG, I think. I heard this through people who know FFG people, but I'm pretty sure the artist balance sheet is now part of the art team at FFG. So there's a chance we won't see more balance sheet art for a while, which is a bit of a bummer because balance sheet did some really good stuff, but I'm pretty sure I heard that balance sheet now works at FFG. So I don't know if there's a non-compete or some sort of problem there, but like, unfortunately, I don't know if you're going to see more balance sheet stuff on art. This citation incredibly needed, but it would make a lot of sense to me. Balance sheet's been doing a lot of art for FFG stuff throughout the years. Rotom likes to bring his Anoetic Void Man and try to intimidate me. It's very rude. Oh, I believe it. I definitely believe it. Cool. That's it for the stream today. Mind you, stay tuned. Next week, we'll be able to announce a date. If you want to drop by Montreal later in the summer, we're going to have a fantastic event. Otherwise, NPC, Providence, Boston, whatever you want to call it, Norton is next week. And I'm so stoked to see a lot of nice folks there. Kat, are you coming down? I'm imagining you might be coming down. That's going to be quite nice. Adios. Yes. I think that's it. Huge shout out again to patrons we're supporting on Patreon. Thanks to all the folks who financially support the channel so we can put the time and the effort into casting, recording, streaming, all that sort of stuff, planning on it. Hell yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of patrons. We have a bunch of other tiers too. Mind you, the Sure Gamble tier names are not here, but incredibly appreciated. Shout out to our new patrons. Also, if you see your name here and you want a little symbol next to you, like Cephalopod has the Cephalopod, just hit me up with a little PNG and I'll attach it there. I'd be very excited to do that for you. I think that's mostly it. we'll have a ban list tomorrow. I'll try and do a short update video to put on the channel to just go over the ban list and our thoughts on it. Something really quick, hopefully less than 15 minutes. That would be ideal, just so folks can stay abreast of ban list changes, because I don't think they're incredibly well communicated unless you're plugged into Null Signal Games. So hopefully that has an audience for that. Shout out to Nikki 3.0, new patron. Thanks so much for joining the team. I think that's mostly it. I'm getting pretty warm. I actually went the whole stream without touching my hair. I'm very proud of it. I'm going to go and just spend an hour just shuffling my hair around. It's going to be great. Have a great night. JM, thanks so much for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I reckon it might be your evening. We'll be back on Tuesday. That's largely it. I'll let you know also there'll be a stream, it looks like, for NaMPC Boston, which is going to be sick, with some live commentary on site, maybe even. So, without touching my hair, asterisk Tron, don't even. I worked hard on this. Let me have this. Have a good night, y'all.